Well, it decided it wanted to act up again, so I'm not going to waste time. I don't know what that is, and I'm going to be grateful to get off of this forum very soon because I found a new one, and I'm just going to use that one. So
Come on, new one.
Come on, upgrade. Look at God.
So I'm not going to waste my time with that anymore. I hope all of y'all are doing well. We're on right now. I put the post up so people know that we're on. I don't have nothing to say, but this has been one crazy 7.5 days.
Absolutely.
This ain't been nothing to, get all crazy about. And man, 2015 was a blow. 2016 was like, man. And then 2017, 2018, it kind of calmed down a little bit. Then we had COVID come up, had a bunch of deaths in that. That kind of simmered down. We right back to it again. We have lost so many people.
Right. In the course of, honestly, between 2020 and now, it's just been devastating, bro.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't even want to count that number. I don't even deal with that because I think the biggest thing about losing all those people was that you still have a bunch of people out here acting like they're invincible, like it can't happen to them.
Right.
And I don't bear that strength, so I'm not going to try to chase or chance it. It's just very, 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 very hard to believe that so many people have passed on. This has just been one of the most. It's just been a rough time, you know. But with that being said, there are some people that we don't know that I don't have personal relationship that have gone on too, and I just want everybody to know that we are still deeply, deeply. And my sister just said she's in the hospital with her god baby, so they just had surgery. So there's that. Um, I've been on social media for the last couple of days, and to see the barrage of murders that have happened,
Yes.
I just don't. I want this to be known. All of our other colleagues will be on here in a little while, but I just want this to be known that there are still some white people out here who believe that they are beyond reproach and they are basically feel like they're above the law. They don't have any type of
Recourse.
the recourse. They don't have it. They're not accountable. They're not responsible. They just feel like because I'm white, I'm right. And the truth is, no, you're not right. Matter of fact, I just believe that it's just this huge barrage of disrespect and disregard for real life. I said it earlier that this country says this is the home, land of the free and the home of the brave. And the truth is, if you're anybody of color, you are not free.
No.
So I just look at, the fact that, and I went over and watched the video several times so I would know what I'm talking about from what I see. And there was absolutely no reason for these police to even draw their guns.
Bro, did you hear
There was
how
no
he
reason.
threatened her?
I heard how he threatened her. I heard the whole conversation, and I kept saying, I still don't see any just cause for you to even pull your gun out of the holster. I still don't see it. Tanya let me know that, and I watched this after she informed me, but she let me know that, the cop had been transferred 6 times, because of his behavior. And so oh, absolutely.
What?
Yeah, I heard that too.
So then
He should have been fired on the first one. I could see you getting another chance.
Yeah.
But the second time, you gotta go.
Yeah.
You gotta go. There's no reason for you to be here if you can't conduct yourself.
I had a review with my manager today, and I actually got a promotion, I want to say around March of this year. It was hard on me, right? And I'm a numbers person. As long as my numbers are great, I'm green across the board, I'm great. And I've always been that for 12 months, 14 months, 16 months, 18 months, till I got to this position I'm in now, right? Where it's kind of like hard for me to navigate because it's a new position. And today she said, you're doing good. You know, we don't count these 3 months of your first part of your new skill because you're learning something new because it just didn't look good. She said, so don't worry about it. But your first 3 months, you did a great job. You're still balanced, you know, doing everything well. She said, but you know, we always advocate for our good agents, right? And I'm like, oh, that's so great. I'm just thankful that she's saying they advocate for me, right? So I think back about what Kevin just mentioned about well, we just all just mentioned it. How did he get transferred so many times? Someone's advocating for him and saying, we still think you have another chance, or we think that you can still do better. Let's go try a different area. No, get that man some help. Find out what the core issue is with him, and maybe he can return. Maybe. But the problem is that you guys, not you, but the law enforcement is not reinforcing just better training, not reinforcing psychology, you know, doing an evaluation on these men. And I think whether you good or not, everyone every once in a while should have an evaluation. Right?
That is right.
Right. We should be coming back and saying, okay, I need to do a couple of stress tests on you. They do that. My friend used to work used to be a 911 operator. And every so often they had to do counseling. They had to do stress tests. They had to do all these things. And that's just to check your mental, right? Are you able to handle these calls? Are you able to handle these type of situations? That should be happening way more often when you're in a line of duty like that, because you're in contact so much more. And it's never, it may be the same type of situation, but it's never the same person, right? You might go in and it might be a domestic violence situation where the lady is doing it, you know what I mean? Where it's not the man doing it. Or, you know, you just never know. You just never know what you're encountering because you're dealing with people and people are different. But the fact that people have someone apparently 6 different times advocated for this man to say that he was good enough to keep going, but let's change the environment.
Then
Excuse me?
something was wrong with that person.
So then that raises
Every single if it was more than one or whoever it
Yes.
was, yeah, absolutely.
But then it raises the question: are these people that are in these higher positions, how close are they to these people that they don't go and allow them to get help? A
That's
lot of these are they're in a brotherhood on their own, so that's why they never get reprimanded, because it's like, oh, this is my big brother, he's not going to do this, we work together. So what happens when you have that racist dude that's doing all of this stuff, who has to answer to another racist dude who he consider his brother? Can it'll never be fixed.
right. An evaluation point. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Tracy.
An evaluation point is correct, because month to month, day to day, week to week, we feel differently on the inside. You have dealt with something that has emotionally and mentally done something to you. So if you come into work that day all jacked up emotionally and mentally, you're going to take it out on whatever you're working on. And in their case, they're working with people. And so if a person of color made you mad at such and such phone store, you're going to take it out on just another person of color because somebody made you mad.
And because you weren't given the proper tools to know that we don't take out other issues on other people. You've misdirected that anger, right? And so you have to what does it look like for a cop to let it go for this one? Now I'm going to a new place, right? I'm going to go help a child. I'm going to go help a senior citizen. I'm getting ready to help a group of men, a group of women. I'm getting ready to do this, so I gotta let go of what happened earlier, or let go of what happened at home, so I can bring my whole self to work and be there for the right person. You know what I mean? Or be there for people that need me. And I blame not only him, but I blame the system.
Yeah.
And I'm sure
you gotta blame the system.
You gotta blame the system because and here's the thing: since George Floyd, since all the way back before him, when did we hear that has happened? Mm-hmm. When did we hear this? You know what? Or a president or somebody say, "Listen, what we're gonna start doing now, because it's happening too much. right? It's happening. Even if it was a white person, I would still feel bad about this, right? So it doesn't matter who it is. At this point, I'm mad because it was a sister, right? It was a person of my somebody who probably got some bloodline. You never know, right? But at the end of the day, when is that going to start happening? When is
But you
that going
also,
to start
you
happening?
know
Where they
what else?
start having just monthly or quarterly, just kind of reforming these people to make sure that they're doing well, they're doing better, they're mentally okay. Not you look okay or you look all right. It just takes one time.
You
One
know
time.
what else I've noticed though, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe y'all can tell me I'm wrong. But all of this stuff with killing, with the cops killing black people, don't happen until Trump gets closer in the White House.
Right.
They because what we talked about this on the podcast before. You're absolutely right, Avery. What Trump did, and y'all think you were there, but I think that I want to say Brent mentioned he just, or maybe it was, I don't know who it was. Anyways, all he did was expose those who were racist. He just let
Yeah.
them say it's okay for me to say that I am. It's
Yes.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay for me to let myself go and not hide behind this fake mask. You know what I mean? And so you're absolutely right. I agree with you 100. And I didn't even think about that. I did not even think about that.
Well,
Because
here's
when Biden was in office, you haven't really heard nothing about. I mean, not saying that it don't happen, but it's not really like on the news like that.
I
But
agree.
when Trump has been president or even trying to get into the White House,
They rev
bam,
It's
up.
here
been
we
more
go
prevalent.
again.
Yeah, I agree.
Mhm.
I agree.
well, these are the same people that, for some reason or another, felt it was okay to bombard the Capitol.
Right.
Has been
Exactly.
us
These are the
On
these are
on
these are
his command.
these are
On his
these are the
command.
same
on the command.
people that decided that we are going to do something that has never been done in history.
Ever.
Under this man's watch, we're going to run on the ground. Now, here's the part that got me. The white lady that got shot was a casualty, but they were really shooting after the black man. They were
Wow.
really shooting at him. They got her by mistake. If you all
Wow.
remember that, they were shooting at him. She got hit. And for some reason or another, it was just making top tier news the whole time. They showed the black man that was sitting in one of the Congress, in one of the rooms in one of the executive offices, and he was sitting there with his leg. He had his camera out,
Mm.
and he was inside videotaping.
Yeah.
And they went after him. But the man who was in one of the offices with his leg up on the desk, kicked back with his hands folded in that leather chair,
Mm-hmm.
he got a couple of hours in jail.
But the
And
crazy
that was
thing
just,
is, you know why? Because it from what I read and from what I heard, it was Trump that actually had those guys set that up.
He
and here's and
did.
here's
No,
and
it
here's what
was
I'm
on his
saying.
command. You're
Right.
absolutely
Listen.
right.
Here's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that proves your point. That none of this happens until this orange fool gets up in here.
Right.
And then
Exactly.
before you know it, people are doing things that they've never normally done. Like they don't
Yeah.
do it. But let me say this. It's funny that y'all say that because I want to make this point. That you said that the reform of the police should be more apt to being consistent as opposed to like every, look like they only get evaluated every year, supposed to
And it
be
don't
every
even seem
60
like that's
days.
happening.
So the bottom line is that, isn't it funny though? Like if you think about this, it's funny how Timothy Anderson, I'll tell you in a minute. It's funny how they don't care how you feel, just show up to work. And
Right.
when you come to work, just be here because whatever goes down, we just want to make sure we have the manpower.
Yeah.
We have the man presence. So that way, we don't really care. And to be all the way honest with you, the more angry you are, we kind of see it. We see that you're ready, like you're a smoking gun for us. Now, if you end up killing a black person, we're gonna make it seem like we are just appalled at your actions.
Right.
Because I
Slap
want to
you on
say
your
this.
hand.
I want to say this. We never see where these people go in jail. We never see
Never.
that.
Never.
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 They never show you that they're putting them in a maximum security prison or a minimum security prison. They never show you that they're booking them. They never show you that they're taking their pictures. They never show you that they have documentation on what happened. They never show you any of that. But they will show you a black man laying on the ground, like the video that went on with Sonia Massey. My thing was, it shows that there was a blatant disregard for this woman's protection.
Yes.
To begin
And
with.
when you turned around and saw that she had no kind of threat set up towards this man in a kitchen, and she's holding a pot, there's nothing that lady can do, and you shot her.
And
I feel there is no court case.
It's not.
No,
There's no reason. There's no reason for you to discuss anything. There's no reason to say, because listen, they say innocent till proven guilty, right? I never believe that. Because if I'm innocent till proven guilty, then why are you holding me?
Right.
That's right.
Why am I going to jail?
They holding us, not them.
They holding. Yeah, right. Exactly. They're holding.
That's true.
So here's the thing. Now let's do this. Let's do the math for 1 second. Let's say this woman was still alive. Her call was that she felt like there were prowlers around her house.
Right.
She felt unsafe. So she kept saying, listen, I'm calling y'all because I think somebody around my house and I don't know who it is. So the cop that didn't kill her was walking around the house by himself. His man didn't even leave. My question is, why were you in there with that woman and she basically did not present to be any threat at all? Right. And then you're walking around because you weren't asking her, well, man, what happened? Well, what did you hear?
None of that.
Well, where did you hear it at? Let's go out here. Just sit tight. We're going to go out here and look. Your man did it.
Bruh.
You were ready to kill her anyway. You were waiting for something to happen. And the pot was a good enough reason. Now, what y'all didn't know was this, and you probably saw it. After they shot her, or he shot her, the other cop didn't shoot her. After he shot her, the other cop said, I'm going to get my kit to help her. That man said, don't worry about it. It's a headshot. She dead.
Bruh. But he also said, if I'm not mistaken, he said, okay, so what do we do now? That's what pissed me off, bro. That irked my... So you done shot this lady, and then you're going to sit there and say, what do we do now?
Well, here's the other thing, Avery.
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead, Tony.
And you put the tape up, the caution tape up to your own murder. You did that, sir.
Yeah.
And still was talking SHIT afterwards. She a BITC. This is him outside. Now, here's a typical protocol. If you feel like someone's in the house and you feel like, or someone's around the house, you take the person, pull them out, maybe put them in the car to make sure that I'm gonna come in the house and I'm gonna go and I'm gonna look around inside, outside. Why are you all in her house? First of all, the lady is late at night. It's a lady and you're two men, right? That already doesn't even look good.
That's wrong from the top.
She can scream.
You never had a female around there at all. Not one female was there. Not one.
Exactly. Because I mean, I have been arrested before, not because I did anything wrong. We'll talk about that story later on. I didn't do nothing wrong. Anyways. But they had to get a female to search me, right? It wasn't a male that was searching me. You know what I mean? They let me go. It wasn't maybe 20 minutes, but it was the worst 20 minutes of my life. Anyway, so at the end of the day, they didn't even follow protocol. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
They didn't follow protocol, and the next thing I'm gonna say is that sometimes I feel like some of these police officers that are committing these crimes are not under regular law.
Right.
Let me say this. If I know that what I'm doing can put me in jail,
come on now,
then I am not going to present myself eligible for this situation. So I am going to make sure that I do whatever I have to do to present myself faultless in this situation. I don't want to go to jail.
But to be honest, a lot of these cops are rich, spoiled white kids. So
That's
they
true.
gonna always get off.
That
If
is
my
true.
daddy got money or my daddy got pulled to pull me out of this out of trouble, they're gonna
Or
always have that protection.
Well,
judge.
go ahead, Trey. Yeah,
Yeah,
the
my daddy
judge, or the
judge.
judge.
Or
That's
the
Right.
right.
judge, yeah.
Guaranteed me a
Right.
job.
hmm So back when George Floyd died, I was living in Orange County, California at the time. And Tom, you probably remember this. I went up. I lived in Orange County, so I was right there in Fullerton. And there's a street called Euclid.
Mm-hmm.
I was going up Euclid, and I got to, I don't know the name of the street. Sonny and I talk about this all the time. We be forgetting streets in California.
Oh
We've
my
been there
God.
so long. I can't remember nothing.
The mind goes first.
Which lets me know that I am supposed to not
remember.
Not remember.
Ah,
But
ooh,
what up, Chris?
look at
Hey,
that.
what's up, bro?
What's going on with the family
So,
MR, with the hard ER?
so what my point is that
You said you were.
I just don't understand that when I got up there and there was a whole barrage, immaculate amount of people doing a march.
Oh.
Now, the area that I live in at the time in Fullerton, that wasn't a black neighborhood.
Oh.
It was mostly white and Mexican. I used to take walks around there, and there's a street called Prescott. And I got to Prescott Ave and went to make a right because I used to walk around the whole area. And I saw some American flags, and it said Black Lives Matter. I'm thinking these people are black. No, they was white, right?
Oh, they love
But
it.
2 doors down, there was a Confederate flag and said, kill them all.
What?
So I walked past, and I was happy till I got to that flag. And then I looked, and I said, well, these people live 2 doors down from each other. So I don't know how that works. But anyway, I went up to the march, and you would not believe that there was a lot of white people out there who were marching, but then there were a lot of Mexicans. You had some blacks. We don't live over there, so some blacks. But the LGBTQ community was out there more than all of us. And I'm standing there, and I'm like, I see rainbows everywhere, like, and I mean, they got Black Lives Matter. They like, yeah, I mean, they are sticking up. So I asked this one guy, I went across the street, asked this one guy, he was doing what he does. And I said, can I ask you a question? He said, yeah. I said, why? I see you all here. I just want to know why. He said, because we're no different from y'all. We get ostracized, they mistreat us, they dog us out, they tell us we ain't nobody, they kill us at will. He said, you would not believe how many cops have messed with us in this community, but tried to kill us when somebody else found out that they was messing with us in this community. He said, so I'm letting you know that all of us out here, like you a black man, right? He said, does it matter who comes and helps you? If I'm gay, but I got exactly what you need to get this fool off of you, are you going to say, no, you gay, I'm not going to do that. Don't help me, I'll do it myself. You're not going to say that. So all I'm saying is that it just messes with me that we have gotten to this point now where I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not afraid of them, but I just don't like cops. I don't like them. I don't like them.
I got
And
my own reasons.
When you see a cop, you're supposed to feel safe. But now when you see a cop, you feel threatened.
Listen, it ain't nothing wrong with saying, because I don't think you're scared of them either. I just think that you don't know what's going to happen. It's just so unpredictable. This lady, with a part that I couldn't stand, Avery, I know you heard you're about your part that you couldn't stand, but the fact that he told her to go take the pot off the stove because it was on. Maybe she was making ramen noodles, probably. I don't know, but he told her to take it off. He said, "We don't want to have a fire." She said, "Oh, yeah, I don't want to cause a fire." And then it was at the point where she had her hands with the oven mittens in her hands.
But did you hear what he said while she did that? He said, "I will shoot you in your
in the
effing
head.
face,
He said that,
in the head."
and he did exactly what he's supposed to do. And here's the other thing I have a question about. Okay, and I'm only bringing this up because I just got finished doing a podcast for a whole week on the book of Isaiah, but just the first 23 first 23 chapters, and it was talking about basically how how God was sending Isaiah to tell people about he was warning them, like, I'm about to destroy it all, because at the end of the day, I thought I was bearing good fruit, and y'all over here acting all crazy, right? And so my thing is that how do someone, and the reason why I bring that up is because how does someone, I don't care of any color, shoot someone wrongly and keep seeing this thing happen all the time, and think that that's I mean, I know that, again, white think that people, they think that's right, but I wouldn't even want to be in the limelight. I got all. But not
That's
for
what I
them.
said earlier. If I wouldn't do anything to put myself in that position. I wouldn't do anything
It's dumb.
to make it where you can watch over and over and over and over again me shooting a
Your
defenseless
children, your family's
female.
gonna always see this. Yeah.
She's a defenseless woman. So I wouldn't want nobody to see that. But here was my point. I'm sorry. When I did the march, talk to that guy, blah, blah, I heard I guess it was an Asian guy. The Asian guy said, they not going to stop till we start killing them. The moment we start killing them, and we take, because remember, the cops was like under some serious scrutiny, like everybody was on their head. And this dude did a whole I did one. I did a thing called Mr. COP. I forgot I did it. But when I did that video, I had over 400, 500, 600 people hit me up on YouTube like, yo, this was so dope or whatever. But it's just a shame that I had to make that song because, but homeboy went, it was a dude out in Compton. I don't get, the corniest beat maker is off the chain out there. And they went over there and they did a whole video. And when I tell you, he was like, yeah, they're not going to stop till we start killing them. So when they come outside, kiss their loved ones on the face and say, you know, see you after I get off work. And then they get in the car and you spray their car, or you go up in their house and kill their children, or you go, now all of a sudden it turns into something else. But
Right.
the real reality of it is people are getting tired. They're getting tired of this. They're getting tired
Right.
of it.
This ain't the 1960s where we march.
This ain't,
A
you
lot of
put,
these black
you
kids
pull a
would
hose out if you want to. Go pull a
right,
hose out. We waiting on it.
right.
Because I got an axe that'll chop that hose off and that water cut off, and then I'm gonna take that same axe and I'm gonna chop your head off.
Right.
Because I'm telling you, that's just where people are right now. They don't care
This ain't
about
Malcolm and Martin.
No. This Malcolm 5.0, Jack. We ain't
Yeah, but the issue with that is that it doesn't solve it. You know what I mean? Like that.
No.
Tanya.
No, I
It
get it. No, I
doesn't
get
solve
it.
it, but at the
Listen,
end, we're
calm down.
tired.
Break it down. I'm just saying that at the end of the day, it doesn't ultimately solve it. You know what I mean? And so I don't. It's baffling to me. The entire thing is baffling to me.
It doesn't solve it, but I'm gonna tell you what though. The real resistance. Martin Luther King kept saying, let's not fight. 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 Don't fight. Don't fight. Don't fight. Malcolm X said, y'all better fight. Y'all better take them guns and look out your windows, and anything that's white that's moving, shoot it.
Right.
Farrakhan said, if a cracker sit up there and come in your face and spit in your face, you turn around and crack that cracker over his head. That's what you do. Farrakhan said it. And all I'm telling you is, with all the love that we're trying to ensue, I got to be honest with you. We know God is love. We understand that. We understand. Even the people back in the day, when they were like during the Klan, like when the Klan was like really just, you know,
planning.
And the black people in Mississippi and all them places over there, they didn't have those resources that we have now. So they had to tolerate that. They had to tell their children, no matter what happened, you know, just run, just run. You know, they had to tell them that. My mom ain't got to tell me to run. You know what she gonna tell me? Kevin, please don't. Because now what's going to happen is I'm not going to think twice about it. It doesn't solve anything. But at the time that somebody is literally trying to shoot me, I'm not thinking solution.
Yeah.
I'm thinking survival.
Protection.
I don't care
I get
about
that.
solution.
I get
So
that.
when it comes to solution, the only solution is he either gonna kill me or I'm gonna kill him.
Yeah.
Either way,
Somebody leaving, especially if I'm not bothering you. If I'm driving down the street and I'm doing the speed limit, right? And then you do a traffic stop, I can ask you why you pulled me over.
bro.
Because I know, and then you lie to me. Well, speed limit is 25. I was doing 25. No, you were doing 30. This ain't gonna end well.
Yeah, it ain't gonna end well, right? And I've heard somebody say that there still is the KKK around. All they did was they just
They're alive and
their
well.
uniforms, so they
Yeah.
went from white sheets to ties and police outfits.
Hey, Avery, Tanya, when was that? 2 weeks ago? 3 weeks ago? That somebody sent me a video and said, yo, check on your son. Because the Klan and the Confederate flags everywhere are in Nashville, Tennessee, downtown doing a march, bro.
Are you serious? Oh, trust
Nashville,
me,
Tennessee.
They have them here in Troy, North Carolina.
I'm sure.
Like 45 minutes away.
And Chris is over there near Forsyth, Georgia. They down there in Forsyth, Georgia right now.
We were driving through. What street was that? Was Lynchburg or something like that? And we were seeing
Lynchburg is another location. Yep.
And so at this point, they don't even have to wear the white clothes, the white sheets.
No,
they
the name of the town is
regular.
Hey man, one of my friends was in Pulaski, Tennessee, and there's a college up there, and another person that was in the car with them asked a police officer, so where do the black people hang out at? Man took his hand and pointed to the trees, and he said right there.
Oh.
Are you serious?
But that was going.
Yep. Chris, we had you on here for a while. We was trying to finish our point. Go ahead.
And Chris,
I guess you already know what we're talking
Chris
about.
will talk you down.
Chris just been shaking his head the whole time.
We missed you, Chris.
Hey, I miss y'all too. I was tied up these past few weeks with my work schedule. Been a little tight. But listen, everything that what's up, Most? Everything that that y'all are saying is true. I mean, it is what it is. I live in a town called Douglasville, Georgia, and we have a very, very binary choice here. It's either you are black and Democratic or you're white and Republican, right? And so there's really no in between. I mean, they drive around with Confederate flags and terrorize the community. It is what it is, you know. So unfortunately, and you said something real, Kevin. I mean, you would hope or think that the police is supposed to be there to protect and serve, right? But really, the truth is, people more concerned about getting served by the police than being protected.
Yeah. And it ain't no other way you can put it. And I think the sad part about it is, you know, when it comes to the reality of everything, I think what we need to pay attention to is the fact that, once again, people have to pay attention to the signs, man. As Avery said, every time Donald Trump gets to get ready to, you know, go in office, which I still don't get. I don't understand how a convicted felon is still on the ballot for, you know, I still don't get that. I don't even want to go into that. But, you know, you let me go outside and throw a piece of straw paper on the floor,
and you can't even vote.
And yeah, no, they take away your right to even exist.
Right.
They just don't kill you, you know. But you can't do nothing. But this man done evaded taxes. He done lied. He done did perjury. He done, you know, conspiracy. All charges, all 30-something charges. And he'll be on the ballot in November. Like, I don't know, but it's not until he gets there that, you know, we start seeing all this stuff. I was watching, and we still talking about the Sonia Massey situation. I was watching how now they're trying to basically denounce and, you know, just convict Kamala Harris now. Like, they trying to find everything wrong with her, and I'm like, wait a minute, sweetheart, you are a black woman. I don't care how much Asian you got in you or whatever that other blood is. They don't want you standing for us. What I loved about Barack Obama, he did not go in there biased. He was being the president. He was saying, look, right is right, wrong is wrong. I'm not standing for nobody. If you wrong and you black, you wrong. If you white and you right, ain't nothing I could do about it. But it was pretty much the other way. White was wrong and black was right at that point. But I just think a lot of, what they're doing now is they're trying to basically, pretty much just make sure that the investment of their narrative is not damaged. So, we just want to keep.
Did you hear about the Project 2025?
I read up about it yesterday.
We talked about it
about
before.
Yeah.
So you're saying that a man that is right now has 32 convicted,
34,
right, can still run for president, and then also he can stay the president for the rest of his own duration. What?
That's the new Saddam Hussein, the new.
Yeah.
That's all it is. He a dictator. That's what they wanted to be, that. Because they never told Kamala she could do that.
No.
Right.
They
never said that
right
to her. Yeah. I'm like, she ain't even been considered for 5 seconds. So
they're
anyway.
also thinking there's a conspiracy. I'm not saying that I believe it, but that Donald Trump, that Biden is actually not alive. She did a press conference and tried to say like, hey, it's so good to hear from you. She said, "Are you record?"
Yeah.
She said, "Record." I mean, this call instead of recording, she's actually going to say recording, as if they kind of did like a recording of his voice or whatever. So I don't know. We haven't heard from him since he got COVID. So not sure exactly what's going on. The way you can only impeach her, right, is if she's actually in place for him. I think that's right, right?
Yeah, she can't do it. She's not even considered. They have not denounced him as the president. He just said he's not running for the next term.
Correct.
But until they have that particular congressional agreement, he's still the president. So she's not in place to do anything right now.
But in a lighter note, I do appreciate that within 24 hours, we were able to raise $250 million for her campaign, because you have to have a certain amount of money that has to be raised in order to be considered, and in less than 24 hours. I'm grateful to hear that.
They now yes, they raised the money. She got it. She gonna run. She's gonna do the best she can. I know she's up against 2 situations. Number 1, you're black. Number 2, you are female. So you running into 2 situations that could kill a whole campaign. The other thing of this is that what I know is that voting and the actual, we all know about the counts of the different states, and congressional states, and collective votes on this one and that one. Here's what I have to say. I don't know why Barack Obama got in there and then did it for 2 terms. I don't know why. I don't know how that happened.
Yeah.
I don't know why, because that in itself was just like, dang, black man, he in the office. You got on the grass. That's phenomenal. Now you up here for another 4 years? You served 8 years in the White House as the president, not as the vice president, not as a state representative. You were the president of the United States. Did it for 8 years. Well, they got this black female now. I don't know. But I do know this, that if you are this color, you don't have a whole lot of power.
No. Well, they're only, none of them have but so much.
Listen, whoever wants you in there is how you're going to get in there.
Right.
If they don't want you in there, I don't care how much money you raise, you're not going.
Yeah, right.
Because they don't believe in what we believe in. They don't care about us. They just showed you that with this idiot shooting this woman in the head for no reason. It showed you that when Mike Brown got killed. You shot a young boy in his back. You understand? I didn't forget none of that. I didn't forget how Eric Garner was standing in front of a store and you're sitting up there choking him out. He's telling you he can't breathe and you steady choking him until he died. You had your knee in a man's neck by a car. He's telling you, black man his age calling for his mother.
That's so sad, man.
But they'll
and you
catch
kept
her
your
with another
knee,
one, bro.
you kept your knee in his neck, of course. Then you turn around and y'all go over here and shoot this woman up. Who's the other young lady that they did a traffic stop for and they have messed her up before she even got
Bland.
Sandra Bland. They messed her up before she even got in the doggone jail. Her
And
arm was already broken.
She had been talking about the police before that, like having,
Yeah, and that's why they killed her. But that's why they killed her.
Yeah.
That's
she
why
was
they
targeted.
killed her. Because she was another one that wasn't afraid to talk.
Or even a little boy, I can't remember his name, but oh Lord help me with his name, but with they had the hood and thought he had some candy.
Trayvon Martin.
Trayvon Martin.
Trayvon Martin, and now mind you, that wasn't a cop who hit him, but he shot him. It was some Zimmerman, something like that. His last name was
George.
But he was innocent. Like he wasn't convicted.
He got away with it.
They had him in jail. They let him out. But I tell you what, y'all ain't seen him in a couple of days, have you?
I ain't seen him in a couple of years.
Because I'm saying, because these black people are getting sick and tired of him playing these games. And like I said, what they have to understand is if you're saying that, like in Texas, you have the right to bear arms, right?
Florida too.
They never said that a certain color.
Mm-hmm.
They just said you have the right to bear arms.
But
I guarantee you got the right to bear arms. But even as a defense, if you are defending yourself, they're going to put you on trial.
Yeah.
Here's what I'm scared of. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead, Tony. Go ahead.
I just hope if Kamala becomes the president, don't forget about where you came from.
Okay.
Please don't, because I'm gonna be real pissed off. It was a Zoom that I went on the other day for California Black women that wanted to do this. I mean, I'm talking about it was thousands of people on here. Okay, I was lost in the sauce. Okay, and I was like looking at how many people had joined. And I was going, I really hope that this lady does not forget who stood behind her, who donated, and there are people donated too. Thank you for that, but don't forget this because you are definitely white black.
She already has a bad rap for what she did in the 90s to our people.
Right.
Well, let me be clear. I did do some research because they were talking about how she was helping people get convicted for just weed. It was only 45 people. We have to be careful what we listen to. We got to do our research. It was a lot of people that were under that went to trial, but only 45 of those people actually got convicted.
Oh,
okay. So it wasn't a big margin. I mean, listen, that's still not fair for them, but it wasn't a big margin. But I was with you. I was like, Kamala, you didn't did this. You didn't send all these people back in the day. And I had to do my research, and I was like, oh, that's not as many people as I thought it was. You know what I mean?
But does it matter if it's 45 people, if it was 4 or 5 people?
I agree.
Bottom line is they don't care about that particular number. They care about the fact that this is something that we can look at and say, okay, we got you on that. We got and listen, they will throw dirt on anything clean when it comes to you in these kind of situations. They're gonna always find something wrong or something right you did. So I think that's one of the biggest hangups with this is that you said you hope she doesn't forget. Well, I'm gonna tell you what, she can only do what they allow her to do.
That's true. Right. Things still got to be voted on. You right.
So and you in a male dominated system,
you in trouble.
They already don't like you. So I'm just telling you at this particular point.
And we pray that the Democrats win the House, because if those Republicans do, they're gonna eat her alive.
Yeah, well,
they ready.
But can I ask a question? Y'all know it's bad Democrats too, right?
That's true.
True.
Y'all know it's bad Democrats, right? And sometimes I remember I was on a base in Kuwait one time in Iraq. I don't even want to go into all of that, but I was in a base and they told me, they said, it was a 60. The base was 60 miles, well, in a circle. It was a 60-mile circle, and they told me that the enemy is on their base. I'm like, how y'all fools sleeping at night? Y'all know somebody over here that wants y'all dead. Like, how are y'all? He said, yeah, I mean, there's not much they can do, but we know they're on here. Hey, guess what? The Democrats are running to them Republicans, giving them it's double agents everywhere, man. I ain't
Wow, that's
never
crazy.
I ain't never just thought that all things were just what they are.
You right
You know what
about
I'm
that.
saying? I don't trust, just like I don't trust the police. Listen, and I'm gonna tell you what, I'll be all the way honest with you. To be totally upfront, sometimes, and Tanya, you just said it, but I can't stand white cops. I don't like them. But who I really don't like is black cops.
Bro, you already
I don't
know.
like
I
them.
know. I
I
don't
don't
either.
like them. And I'm going to tell you why I don't like them. Because black people get a little bit of power and we lose our doggone
Lose it.
minds.
You're right.
Yep.
You are right.
I'm talking about, I was in Atlanta, Chris. We was over there at the Hyatt place over on Peachtree, and they had a security guard. Now, that hotel ain't as nice as the Continental across the street, right? They had a security guard in there. He literally had his flashlight flashing everybody down at night because they were pulling their cars into a certain parking spot to go and check into the hotel. And he's out there talking about he gonna tow their car. And I looked at him and I said, bro, they just going in the they not parking there. I don't care, man. They got no business with. I said, and I was with a bunch of guys. I ain't have to even talk. The guys turned around. They was like, "Nigga, you got a flashlight. You ain't even got all you got is a flat. You ain't got a toothpick. You ain't got a cotton ball. You ain't got a paper bag. You ain't got nothing else. You just got one flashlight, and you acting like you holding an assault rifle.
Oh, Blart.
Like,
I think
you ain't doing
what
nothing.
we tend to forget is that when anybody, my phone's about to die, I gotta get the charger. When anybody gets a little bit, not anybody, but when most people get a little bit of, because that cop is no different than the white cop. The only thing that's different for us is that you're thinking, man, you can't be that dumb. Like bow down just a little bit. You got a flashlight. A flashlight. The most you can do is either flash the light on me and be blind for a second, or
At a
bop that thing against my
hotel.
head.
At a hotel.
Exactly.
You don't have no backup.
Look at Brent. He looking sexy. All right, come on, shoulders.
All right, Tanya. All right.
You don't like it? Oh. I got video now. You ain't got to do that. I could go on at the video. If you me do that. Anyways, hi.
I just don't see the reason for us to always consider things a certain way when the reality of it is, again, I go back to that whole, I'm sorry, I don't have in my mind that a lot of these people you can't talk to. There's no talking to them. You can't speak to them. You can't say nothing to them because they're already on they are already on defense anyway. Yeah, like I said with the guy at the hotel, he's sitting up there with his flashlight, and he was being so. Here's the thing: if he would have came up and said, "Hey, you know what, y'all? I know y'all trying to check in or whatever. I just want to make sure that don't nobody else come up here and try to tow your car, or whatever. So as fast as you can, if y'all go in and check in or whatever, I'll try to hold you here as much as possible." People are more willing to help you if you help them as opposed to you trying to strong arm them and basically say, y'all need, because here's what happened. The end of the story was nobody moved their car. Nobody moved their car. People was like, boy, whatever. Because they didn't care. Now they don't care about your authority because you're abusing it. So now they're like, and I better not come back out here in my car towed. Now they really don't respect them, because they just don't care because he was so messed up. So I just feel like a lot of times we spend more time trying to show what kind of power we are when really we display our weaknesses, and that's what I'm talking about. Even with this cop that shot that lady, you got to be such a punk to sit up there and have a whole gun, and this woman had a pot that you informed her it was okay to take off the stove.
Right.
And then you turn right around and immediately felt like that was good enough to be a threat. So that's the part. That's the part that gets me.
It's sad.
So it's crazy. So Brent, what's up, man? You all right?
I am. Hey,
So
everybody.
who's the hoe?
Hey, everybody.
Tell us how you feel about this.
Tanya.
I'm just talking about this position.
First of all, how are you doing where you are?
No, your first word.
All is well. So, y'all pardon my appearance. I am currently in Florida at my grandparents' house, and my luggage is in Raleigh, Durham.
Oh wow.
So,
Do you have to
um,
censor your conversation that you're at your grandparents' house, or you gonna just talk regularly?
oh no, they in the bed.
Okay.
I'm in my son's room.
Okay.
And yeah, so my luggage in Raleigh, Durham. Have no clothes other than the clothes that I came down here with. Yeah, don't know when I'm gonna get my luggage.
Mm.
And it's just been it's been a whirlwind of things happening here, but
About that.
it is what it is. So that's why I look like a little thug right now, because I'm literally washing clothes. You know, I don't give all
I'm
of
like,
this. I try to come covered up because I don't want to
Well,
turn up on
Tanya,
Dawn.
let me say this real quick, Brent.
All the way.
Tanya better act like she got some sense because her mother on here.
no, she
Oh,
Okay.
ain't.
Oh, yes, she
Let's get
is.
off immediately.
Nope. You stay right on here.
go get
Yeah, yeah. You want to see another side of Tanya? Watch
go get
this.
off.
It's the
And
same.
I
It's the
and I
same woman.
also am late because in my grandparents' house, nobody goes to bed until the kitchen is clean. So,
That's old school. I like that.
Yeah,
That's
boy.
good.
you know,
That's some good. That's some good. That's good.
they went to bed.
Hallelujah.
They was like, all right, y'all have a good night. We going to bed. Okay, cool. My grandmother looked at me. She said, and you know where everything is. I'll see you in the morning. I know what that means. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow.
Get to work. Get to work.
Right. So I'm
So
back
yeah.
at the little
Well,
kid. But how's
we
everybody
appreciate
doing
it.
tonight? We have a lot to talk about.
Brent,
Yeah.
we talking about Sonia Massey, just talking about just injustice, talking about how do we move I mean, I don't even know how to move forward. I'm so appalled by what happened.
Sonia Massey is the person that got killed in her house, right?
Yeah.
By the white cop.
How do we move forward?
Yeah.
We move forward with, I think the first thing that we need to do as Americans and as law enforcement, they need to make it a mandatory policy and procedure that every law enforcer gets some type of mental help.
What did I just say? What did I
Yeah.
just say, guys?
Get some type of
Actually, Tracy
counseling.
said it first. But y'all both said it.
I think they need some type of
So,
counseling. I think they need
And
some
it doesn't
type
matter
of.
whether they're good or bad,
It
right?
doesn't matter if they're good or bad,
I agree.
because I think all of them suffer from a form of PTSD,
Yeah,
and
true.
then some of them, they were crazy before they got on the force, and
Right.
now
That's
they are
right.
even more crazy now that they have
No
a
lie.
legal right to have a gun.
No right.
Also, I think that it should be mandatory that at a certain point in your career that you are forced to retire. Like at 20 years, like you're done. Like okay, cool, great. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your service. You have maxed out. Because
I don't mean to interrupt you because I want you to
Mhm.
finish.
No, go
Or
ahead.
if you have had maybe there's different levels of what you've been called to do, right? So if
Mhm.
you've done a bank robbery and you've done a shootout and you've done I'm just making this up. I'm making this up. 20 of those or 10 of those. Now it's time for you to actually take a pause, right?
Mhm.
Or take a break or just retire altogether.
Mhm.
I was just telling them about because the guy, I'm not sure if you know, the guy who shot the lady had been transferred 6 times in the last 3 years. And so what I was telling them about was recently, today I just got a review from my manager, and I got a new upscale in March, a new position in March. And so since March, I've been kind of struggling. Other than this month, I've been struggling a lot. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm trying to struggle. I'm used to having just green across the board, right, for like 18 months or more. And so she was like, no, we advocate for you because you just changed your position. These last 3 months, don't worry about those numbers. We're not even looking at those. Just make sure that you know that your first 3 months and then the next 6 months is going to be on you, right? I said, okay, great. But what I was saying is that someone kept advocating for this man to keep giving him a time to go change his environment, not his character, not get counseling, not any of those things, but to change his environment. But it didn't change who he was here, right?
Mhm.
And that part is the part that I'm like, I don't know what's going on. And so Kevin was actually just teasing me because the last 2 weeks, not this week, but last 2 weeks, I've been training a team that's off site. I'm a coach at my job as well. I coach how to do my job. And Kevin's like, you've been a lot nicer since. At first, I'm not a mean person. First of all, let's start there. Anyways, but he said you've been a lot nicer. Shut up, Kevin. A lot nicer since you've been with them because I'm not worried about my numbers. I'm now just coaching and teaching how to do my job. So since I've been able to do that for the last 2 weeks, I had a little bit of a vacation after that, and then I went back to my regular job. Everything has been like green across the board now, right? And so I guess I needed a little bit of a pause to kind of break away from what I've been
to refresh.
doing. Exactly. And that goes back to what you're saying. Like it needs to be a pause, a retirement, a something where they're not, where they get some time to recover. Because you're right, PTSD. I cannot even imagine going through what they go through.
Yeah,
and not
it should be done every 5 years. It should be done every 5 years where they get a chance to kind of like reset, refresh themselves, and kind of relax, release. But they also need to let Saya Macy's family take them boys to the backwoods and beat their ass.
But her father is a pastor.
Ooh, I didn't know that. He spoke so well.
Which one? Sonya
Macy's father is a pastor.
Yeah. So they need to let the saved and unsaved family members really kind of like go at it.
Yeah.
See, this is my point, and I said this earlier, that realistically, a lot of this is not going to stop until we do it back. See, because and I've heard this before, a lot of people, if we raise up and say, all right, that's it, we had enough, we're gonna go out. See, because what they don't understand is as much, and we saw it a couple of weeks ago, I don't know how many weeks, but the power that Kendrick Lamar has right now,
bruh.
The power that Kendrick Lamar has right now, he could send any color after you.
Right.
Like he could send any color after you. He came up and literally brought together two colors, people who have basically devoted their lives to this gang life. He literally could turn around and literally, he could have them all come after you because of the power of his influence. He's a short kid. He has a lot. What's going on, Tanya?
So, I'm sorry. If you look in the comments, Myron Sims says, why was he on the field? He has stage 3 cancer and a colonoscopy bag. Why was he even doing? He's just angry at life at this point.
Who?
Really?
Who are you talking about? The cop?
The officer.
Okay, cool. So now that we, thanks for that, Myron. Now that we see that, we understand that he probably felt like he was going to die anyway.
Jesus Christ.
So, question. How did this video get out?
It's on body cam. They have body cams. They have to show that.
They got to have them
right. On. But, I mean, to the public.
Oh, okay. Well.
Well, here's the thing. Now, this is what I know about law enforcement, because a lot of y'all don't know. I had 2 individuals in my family that kind of let me know what goes on. But guess what? Just like that cop is out there and certain cops like what he did, it's a lot of cops that don't feel this cat at all.
Yeah.
So a lot of them can't wait for any type of leaked footage of anything.
Okay.
And we never know who here's the thing. We just know what people are saying, but we never know how it gets out. Nobody ever talks about that. Right. All we know is you turn your phone on and you got the news. You don't care where it came from. You just know the CNN, MSNBC, and all these people. They telling you, yo, this cop just shot this lady. You don't care where it came from. But a lot of times it's the in-house people that if they don't like how you wrote, because there's some police officers that are trying to do the right thing. But you got more idiots than the good ones that's out here willing to take anybody down. And for what this man just said, he had stage 3 cancer. This man is probably like, listen, ain't nothing gonna happen to me anyway, because I don't really know how much longer I got here.
Wow.
So then kill him.
I can't accept that either, because my thing is, okay, you got stage 3 cancer. Does that give you an excuse to go to a black?
No, it doesn't.
Would you have?
You shouldn't even be at work. You shouldn't have been at work. You shouldn't even be at work.
Would
be
he
sitting at
have
the
killed
desk.
would he have killed an old white lady who had
No,
the same call?
no, no, no.
Let
He
me tell you
wouldn't have.
something. If it was a black person, they wouldn't have give a damn if the nigga had full blown AIDS and was on his last track out here.
Right.
If he did that, they would have shot his ass down like a junkyard
Would have
dog
hung him
Yeah,
on a
and
tree.
would have blamed him, or he would have got fired and all that other kind of
Yeah,
stuff. So it's
yeah,
no excuse.
you're
You
yeah.
right.
got
No, there's no
stage 3
excuses.
cancer. Just go ahead, retire,
Yeah,
and just wait till your number is called.
and
I mean,
Right.
Yeah.
it's just it
and
is
it
what it is.
and
Yeah.
it goes back to the system. Why is he not doing light duty? Why is he off?
He should be
Right?
behind
The
a
same
desk
reason
somewhere.
Donald Trump
Right.
ain't in jail.
Yeah,
See,
he should
thank
be
you.
right.
And we
True.
said that too, bro.
You said
Every
that too.
time he get close to the White House, niggas start dying.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
sad.
And I think the sad part about this is, Terrence, what's up, man? I think the sad part about this is that realistically, what we have to understand is that this is just how it's set
It's so
up.
sad. Jesus
I'm
Christ.
sorry, y'all. I've never, when we were kids, we had history books. They never said Black history books. They said history books, right?
Right.
So when we learned about George Washington and all these other people, like we were learning about all these people, right? But then they would give us 28 days to say, hey, we're Black.
28, the
That's
shortest
it.
month of the year.
But they never gave us any Black books. Even in our libraries, there were minimal Black books in the libraries in school. Because listen, Morgan Freeman said it best: Black history is American history. You understand what I'm saying? But they didn't want us to believe that. I don't have to become a Muslim to know what Black power is. I don't
Right.
have to do that. I don't have to become some random radical with it. I don't have to do that. I've been Black for 51 years. So all I know is that when it gets to a place where you literally find yourself always having these issues, it's because of the fact that there are people here who basically feel like we didn't want y'all here in the first place. And I made a joke about this, but it's the God's honest truth. To be all the way honest with you, the Indians wish all of us to get our asses out of here.
That's the truth.
Native
Want to be
Americans, they don't
technical.
like to be called Indians. Native
Can I
Americans.
interject real quick? First of all, good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Welcome to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I am here. We are in the middle of the National Convention of Gospel Choirs and Choruses, 91st section. So I snuck out just long enough to come on and just say, hey, but to your point about Black history, I am of an age when it was still a week. It wasn't even a month yet.
Mm.
But I had the fortune, and Kevin can understand a little bit of this because we grew up in the same town. So some of the components of what public education was similar. When I was about, I think maybe by first grade, we had a Black superintendent of schools in our town, which was almost unheard of at the time. You know the gentleman I'm talking about, Kevin,
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Frank
Yes,
Napier.
sir. Frank Napier,
Mr.
Jay.
Frank
Yes,
Napier.
sir.
Yeah.
And
Yes,
if you've
sir.
ever seen the movie Lean on Me, his character is
That
in
was
there. Obviously,
Chris's
that's a
school. That was Chris's school.
yeah. I went to East Side also, but I was East Side prior to Joe Clark, so I didn't. I don't have the exact. You can hear that they're just going crazy in this building. That's just somebody in the lobby singing. Anyway, but the point I'm making is that I was fortunate that because I grew up in a particular era, you figure I was really just entering grade school at the time of Dr. King's assassination. Therefore, because we had a black principal and a Black superintendent of schools, we were privy to a little bit more on the terms of Black history across the whole school year, as opposed to just isolating it to a week. Now, by the time Kevin came along, not that there's a lot of years between us, but there could be enough that some of that profile and perspective could have changed. But I was blessed that I remember them giving us specific Black curriculum during my early, grade school days. So, but to the overall point of what I think I heard as I was coming in, I was listening. There are just too many instances now where I'm going to say what maybe somebody might be uncomfortable saying. There are people that are now so comfortable with the idea and notion of speaking their mind about how they really feel about racism. And that's really what a lot of this is stemming from, because, it wasn't cool to really, express yourself that way. But because of a certain person that has been president of the United States and is currently running to get back in office, he's giving them license to say,
Mhm.
hey, say what you want, feel how you will. And it's sad that this mentality still has the momentum that it does, because you would think after this many years that people would genuinely start changing their thinking about it. But as you said, it's being proven to us time and time again that people still have that same mindset. They don't care. Our lives do not matter on any level. You notice when they talk about a white person dying, they'll say the victim. When they
Mhm.
talk about a black person dying, they'll say the subject.
The subject. That's right.
Right.
That's right. That's
Code,
right. Yeah.
open code, just saying, okay,
Yeah.
you know what, the victims, it deserves our, attention. But if they're just the
Your
subject,
Wi-Fi going crazy.
yeah. So that's just all I wanted to say about
He's
that.
breaking up real
I'm
bad.
gonna mute because again, there's a lot of noise. I'm in the lobby and people are walking through just doing their own thing.
Oh no, it's the Wi-Fi. But go ahead. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Go ahead. You got it. Oh, you
No, I'm
muted.
good.
Okay. Here's what I know. And this other subjects we got to talk about, because I know you had some stuff to say on what you said. Here's the thing. Ain't nothing changed. Ain't nothing changed. Ain't nothing changed. It's the same way. It's been this way for years. This ain't nothing new. We're not looking at something and going, "Oh my God, did you see the way they did?" Listen, they were sicking dogs on us and hoses and starting fires in our houses and burning crosses in front of our houses and telling us we can only eat from the blacks only pies and black water fountains. You can't drink from this water fountain, which was stupid to me because it was the same water. Y'all just turned around and put a label on it. Okay,
Right.
fine. But y'all sat up there. This has been going on for the longest time. Ain't nothing new. And I think where we are right now is just this. This is what I do know. They were aware back in the 50s and the 60s. They were aware back in the 50s and the 60s. But now we're not scared to go out here and do what we need to do. We're not afraid of it. Like I said, I used to live in Orange County. They had a whole Klan march in Orange County on Kendall. That's not the name of the street. What's the name of the street, Tom? Start with a K. Out there in Orange County, right by Disneyland. What's the name of it? Can't
Oh,
remember the name.
and I can you messed me up with that.
Okay, don't worry
that-
about it. It's a main street out there in Orange County. The Klan came up there walking up and down the street by Disneyland. By Disneyland. They didn't even go to the hood. They was by the street. By
Catella.
Disneyland, Catella. It was on Catella Avenue, going up and down the street, putting up signs or whatever. I'm gonna tell y'all what happened. Them Mexicans went out there and beat the stew out of everybody they could. You had old ladies, 75, 80 years old, with wood axe handles, chopping whoever she can get near to. Them Mexicans sent them people back wherever they came from. They ran back there because they was like, "We're not gonna have that." And that was like where, if you know Orange County, Catella is a street that runs through pretty much the whole Orange County. They were on that main street, and them Mexicans was like, "Not up in here, you not going towards Huntington Beach." They was like, we're not gonna have that. There are a lot of people who do not care what your color is or what your privilege is. They don't care. They just gonna do what they have to do. So, Chris, you got anything, man? Because we're gonna move to the next little subject here.
Move on, brother. Move on.
let's go to the next one. I think we are here where we are at this point. I just can't believe that. Like I said, Sonia Massey's death brought up Sandra Bland's. It just brought it up. I just really feel like that's crazy. Kimberly Cheadle, she was the head of security national security, I watched probably about maybe 3 or 4 videos in their entirety. And they let that white lady have it.
Well, before we get started, because we got to go back. We weren't together. No, we weren't. I know, baby. I'm listen.
No. I'm thinking about what I was getting ready to say with this lady.
We
But go
didn't.
ahead.
We didn't, because we didn't meet last week because of all that's going on in the personal world.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about the fact that he got shot, right? And that I believe personally, when I first saw it, we were at an aquarium. I said, he planned that, right?
I think everybody thinks that it was fake.
Yeah.
Right. So moving to this lady who got all.
Well, let's talk about that, Tanya. I'm glad. All right,
okay.
let's talk about it. I'm gonna let Chris start off with that, and then I'm gonna let Tracy talk, because Tracy don't never say nothing until we go.
I've been saying a lot today. I'm sorry.
Tracy, I'm gonna let you go, but Chris, go ahead, man. What you think about this situation with, first of all, with Donald Trump, and then we move to Cheadle. So that's on you.
It's really a coin toss for real. I think the thing that bothers me the most about the shot, and maybe it's different where you guys live. I mean, I try to watch the news and see what's going on and stay informed. I haven't seen his parents nor his house.
The young man?
Yes.
Right.
Oh, yeah. They only talk about him in school. That's it. You're right.
Listen, yeah, I haven't seen. Normally, they would be. Just think about it. If it was listen, I watched the first 48, and they had somebody's house up there.
Well, first of all, them gunshots sounded fake anyway.
Say it again, Mose.
I said them gunshots sounded fake anyway.
Or light, right? Like pellets. You know what I mean?
I'm just tripping that we haven't seen his parents. We haven't even seen his house. Normally, they would have all of the media outside of somebody's home.
Right.
Just so that just trips me out. Like there's nothing other than what they say. This young man, he was 20 years old. They showed a picture of him. He's able to get within 200, 150 yards. He's able to get on the roof.
With a weapon.
With a weapon. People are pointing him out. Nobody's doing anything. He shoots by the president, hits his ear. And even though all of this other stuff is going on to the side, I'm like, when am I going to see y'all show me his parents? When I'm going to see the house that he lived in? Why is none of that a part of
this conversation
story right now? So that makes me say, I mean, I don't know. They said that the person behind him got killed. I haven't seen anything.
No. Did you see that? Did you see the Caucasian lady with the phone?
Right, who she was filming and looking down and
right.
she knew something was happening, right? Right. I mean, it's really suspicious. And unfortunately, I don't think any of us could put anything past Donald Trump. Nothing.
Sad.
I just can't.
Sad, but I agree.
I don't put nothing past Donald Trump. Tracy, you up next. I don't put nothing past Donald Trump, but when you look at all of it, the man, like you said, Chris, I'm just reiterating, but there was another point I was going to hit. The man being on top of the roof, somebody saying, hey, there's a man up there. There's a man up there. You saw people on the grass going, there's a man on the roof. Hey, because whoever that was, they didn't want Donald Trump to get shot. It's not that they cared so much about what was going on. They just didn't want him to get shot. They're pointing out there's a man up there. If I stepped foot on that grass and I ain't on no roof, they'd have pointed me out.
That's the truth.
If I sat up there and I said, I don't want Donald Trump to win, I'd have got jumped, stabbed, beat, shot, everything. And I think the big problem that I have with the whole ordeal is, here we go again. If they're pointing at a sniper, I don't even know, he probably wasn't a sniper.
He's
they're
not.
Pointing at him,
and
you did not say right, and you did not say anything about this man. Then guess what? Now we on the Cheetah lady. You probably played a part in the stage too. Your casualty. Listen, here's what I know about the White House. Here's what I know about the Pentagon. Here's what I know about the Capitol. That's what I know about Congress. Money talks.
That's right.
Hey, take the fall. We got $25 million waiting for you on the other side of this building when they fire you or when you resign. However it goes, if you are no longer considered the head of security of the United States, come around the corner, and the only thing you got to do, you got to take this money, you got to disappear. You got to disappear. You can't come back. But you take this 25 million, go put it in some stocks, let it sit for about 20, 30 months or whatever. You get about another $250,000 or whatever. Go live your life. You good. You know what I'm saying? They said, hey, Chris, they said they killed the guy that shot at Donald Trump, right? Did we see a body?
I was gonna say we don't know that. I was getting ready to
Did we
say
see?
that.
Hey, let's
All
go
we
back a
saw
couple
was
of
his,
Hey,
was
Tracy.
his picture. That was it.
Hey, Tracy, let's go. I'm getting ready to talk. Let's go back a couple of years. Do we really know what happened to Timothy McVeigh, the one that shot up the Oklahoma City bombing, the building? Do we really know what happened to him?
Yeah, they changed his name and his social
That's all they
security number.
did. That's all they did. He killed I don't know how many people, and their problem with him was, well, yeah, we do understand that there was a lot of casualties. We understand that there was a lot of people that lost their lives, but we just want to know how he did it. They want to know how you made the bomb.
And that was my point about this young man. He was 20 years old, right? So he wasn't a person who had been in law enforcement, you know, one person that was in Army or in the Navy and anything where he would have some education or knowing how to really do a straight shot. The way that Trump was talking this way for a while, like I'm giving you clear shot of my ear or clear shot of this side. You might, yeah. And mind you, I'm not saying because he's young, he doesn't have the skill. He might have had the skill, but he just hasn't been in that skill long enough. You know, he doesn't have enough life experience, but long enough for him to turn this way and just graze his ear. I feel that it was. I feel personally, to say what you want to say, that it was staged because he was turned this way for too long before he even addressed anybody else on this side. And it was a young man. And yes, they could have promised this man so much money. And maybe he really probably is dead.
But
I
the
don't know.
crazy thing is, the social services people, they didn't even know what was going on. Because there's another video where
Secret
social
Service.
service
Secret
workers
Service, yeah.
were talking to other people in the back. They weren't on their post.
First of all, I don't believe the shot came from his gun. I believe it came from somewhere else. He was just a guinea pig. Go up there on the roof and make it look like you get ready to shoot me. Because
and again, it sounded like paper bullets.
but here's the thing. If he hit Donald Trump, that bullet was not going to stop at Donald Trump's ear. Not if he had an assault rifle.
It would have blew his ear off or something.
And then went to somebody else. There was a gang of people behind it.
Yeah.
So your earlobe is not going to stop an assault rifle's gun, the power of a gun, to just stop at your ear. It would have killed somebody else.
Hey,
man.
Tracy, can I add one more thing to that? Did y'all hear him say, wait a minute, let me get my shoes?
Yeah. No, I missed that.
Even before
What
that,
happened?
but even before that, though, here was what was suspect to me. First of all, one thing that I have not seen, maybe it's out there, but I just haven't seen it. Usually in situations like this, there's something where there's somebody provides some kind of diagram that describes what the scene looks like.
Absolutely.
Because the angle at which they claim he was shot, and considering how close people were behind him, to your point, if that only grazed his ear, someone in that area behind him should have been shot.
Shot too, yeah.
And I'm not wishing that on somebody, but I'm just saying that's just the logical conclusion that you would come to. And I mean, his reaction was too calm.
Bruh, come on, man.
In my opinion. Someone else may feel differently.
Listen, he was looking for his shoes.
Like Gwen is saying, I don't think he was shot at all. I think he had some, you know how
Okay, wait a minute.
little blood thing?
Wait a minute. Here I am. Oh my God, somebody just shot me.
Right.
Where my shoes? Where my shoes at?
Where my shoes at? Where my shoes at? Let me get my shoes.
Where my shoes? No, what he needed was if he had really gotten a shot, he needed to change the underwear because he should have himself.
Listen,
Right.
Tracy, go ahead. I was gonna say something. Go ahead, Tracy.
So-
Go
I'm
ahead,
sorry.
Go ahead.
So we have something, I don't know if anybody else has looked it up, but I have, called crises actors, where
What is
you
that?
can get paid.
To act like you're in a crisis.
Right.
Just
I
like
would
they
love to do
did
that.
at the Capitol. He
Right.
hired some of them people.
Right. For Sandy Hook, the lady who died twice. She died once in Sandy Hook and she died somewhere else. Crisis actor.
Oh, okay.
Right. So you can get paid a
Look this
certain
up.
money. I'm real suspicious because, like you say, an ear. I mean, come on, he's not. For those of us who are old enough, he's not Mighty Mouse. Like,
No.
seriously,
Right.
like, okay, come on.
You're right.
I mean, yeah, and it would have just more than his ear. His ears aren't that big. I mean, I have a stepbrother who has enormous ears. His ears aren't that big. No.
Tracy.
Kevin
Tracy,
is infatuated with people with big ears. He'd be like, look at their ears.
Yeah.
And Donald
But
Trump has
listen,
never been one.
Bottom line, it's very suspect. It's
listen,
very
it's
suspect.
suspect. But can I say this? The bottom line is, if somebody is shooting at me, you can have this podium, you can have this race, you
Everything.
can have. I don't want nothing to do with nothing that's going on.
The
Somebody
shoes,
And
shoot
the
at
the
me.
election.
food, everything is yours.
Listen,
Take
I
it.
I'm
don't.
out.
I'm not. I don't want nothing to do with this. But I
Take your
say
shoes.
again, these are.
They really have that. Oh wow.
These are the people that are so close to the government. I think now, not just through social media, but just through talk, just through everything that's going on. I think now we have seen there's been more of a display of exposure of
Yeah.
Congress, the presidency, all of that. In these last 20 years, I think we have all been exposed to the real conjunction of how government is ran.
Right.
And go ahead.
If nothing is happening that causes alarm or causes an issue, we create our own chaos.
Yes, ma'am.
That's good.
Yes, ma'am.
That's good.
Yes, ma'am.
That's good.
Yes, ma'am. And you know what, Tracy? It's funny. It's a funny notion. It pulls me back to this other point. Brent, you said something, and I wanted to make this point because you were talking about evaluation, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Tracy, to your point, it's like if it's going too good, there's some people who don't get paid when things are great.
That's right.
We back to money. When there's a war, somebody is making billions of dollars
That is right.
every day. There's a war. Somebody's making billions of dollars, and they're the arms dealers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If y'all ain't never seen this movie War Dogs, go watch that movie War Dogs. And when I tell you, Hollywood has been trying to warn us for years.
Sure have.
But War Dogs shows how these two kids came from Florida down there with Brent, and they went over and they literally became a fake business to distribute artillery to other countries through a false business, and they made billions of dollars. And what messed them up was they had all this money. They went to Albania, and they went over there, and they thought they were going to have to pay this man billions of dollars to repackage bullets and bombs and grenades and stuff like that. And the man said, no, here's the math. Let me do it this way. They ended up only having to pay, out of the billions of dollars that they had, they literally only had to pay $200,000 for 25 men to repackage all this artillery. So they was like, we good. Let them pay them the money. One of the idiots did not pay the man, and he was ready to pay his people. They did not pay him, and that's how they got caught.
Mm.
So if they turned around and paid this man, to this day, these boys were still, because of war. They're not getting paid because, kumbaya, my lord. They're not getting paid for that. They're getting paid that people get decapitated, and they go over and send innocent people over to different countries like Afghanistan and Kuwait and all of that to get shot at, and and I've said it, I told Tony the other day, I said, instead of sending innocent people, send these lifers that don't have nothing to live for. Y'all ain't gonna let them out. Let them go over there and kill these people. Let them go do it. Because they're gonna do it. They ain't got nothing to come home to.
Right.
They got nothing else to do.
Yeah, give it
They
to
ain't got
them.
nothing else to do.
But it's like we're watching that. So I think with all of that being said, I knew this tonight wasn't going to be all fun and games because there's so much that's going on that's crazy. I want to move on to this next situation. I ain't going to lie to y'all. I'm going to be real. When that cyber thing happened
Bruh.
and planes got shut down and stuff started happening, I'm going to tell you what I thought. I didn't tell Tony this. I ain't tell nobody. I said, I won't be shocked if a missile comes over here.
Wow.
I never said nothing to nobody. I said I will not be shocked if a missile comes over here because Kim Jong-un done told us a long time ago, I have an EMP that I can send over there to knock out all y'all's power, all your Wi-Fi, all that other stuff. You'll have no defenses.
He said that.
So when I send that over there, I could do whatever I want to do to y'all. And look at who we got in office and who trying to get back in office right now. That's a guaranteed war.
Yeah.
So
Well,
go
kill
ahead,
his
Brett.
ass and leave me alone.
That's what I
For
tell
real.
you.
For real. It was.
Let me ask y'all a
I ain't gonna lie,
question.
that Friday was a great day for work. I mean, all I had to
Listen,
tell people call
I
back
was
because I couldn't
scared,
do
bro.
that.
My sister was out of the country, bro. I'm like, oh my God, she
Oh
gotta come
wow.
back.
Yeah.
my mother was in Tokyo, Japan when 9/11 happened. You talk about somebody nervous. I was
Yeah, I
like,
remember that, bro.
yo,
He sure was. I had forgotten that part.
yeah, she was stuck
He
over
was
there and
literally,
couldn't move. And because, at that point they had grounded all planes. Nothing could come in, nothing was going out.
Yeah.
So they
Nothing.
was like, we
Yeah.
not, yeah, if your mama coming home, it ain't gonna be this week. And
Ooh.
it took my mother 9 days to get home. But she got home, and when she
And can
landed,
you imagine that flight going home? It's like I hope.
you don't know what's going on.
That's right.
Yeah.
You don't know.
Wow.
Like this plane here, they're using planes to destroy these buildings, and I got to get on a plane and go across the Pacific Ocean to the Atlantic Ocean.
Right.
I don't know how to deal with this. I don't.
Bro,
So it's
but
18
bad.
hour
I
18
promise
hour
you,
flight.
I promise you though, for the most part, and I'm not saying this is an absolute, but for the most part, those of us that are of African American background, if somebody comes up and all they got is a box cutter,
Oh, they
things might have
definitely.
went a little different. That's all
I
I'm going to say.
agree.
Bruh,
I agree.
bruh,
No, I agree.
I'm
listen,
not trying to say that
listen
everybody's
to
a
me,
superhero or we're
bruh.
super people,
Listen to me.
but
Listen
we
to
would
me.
be able to respond in that situation very differently.
Listen to me. Listen to me, Terrence.
Gun
I'm
them like
listening.
If any of us was on that plane, either one of those planes, we know that it could be somebody that know they're going to jail when they get home. I'm not going out like this.
Not at all.
You know, I'm gonna tell you what. Quick story. 9/11 happened. All things were cool, right? Kurt Carr was going to the Apollo in New York, and so remember that it was American and United that was
United.
used
Yep.
to scare these people. Well, anybody who knows me knows I can't stand flying. I'm better at it now. I don't like it sometimes. But we were going from San Francisco. I was the one leaving from the Bay Area. I was going from San Francisco to New York, to LaGuardia Airport, one of the worst airports known to man.
Oh my God.
And we got on this plane. They had us on a 777. It's bigger than the 747. And they had us on this plane. And I got on there. Terrence, it's the one with the 2 seats, then the 5 seats, then the 2
Yeah.
seats.
Yeah.
They had me on that plane. Bunch of people got on the plane, huge plane. We get ready to pull off. This dude in a turban decided that when the plane pulled back from the jetway and we were headed to the runway, he stood up and went into the overhead bin. Now the plane ain't left the ground at all. I saw that and I looked back. I unbuckled my seatbelt. I'll never forget this, God, please. I'll never forget this. I stood up. I took my hat off. It was the wintertime. I took my hat off. And I went over and I moved I had a book bag, kicked it under the seat. I got in the aisle and I did my hands like that. I said, not today. Not today. About 5 seconds later, about 16 black dudes on the plane, they got up and they said, no. This one ain't going down, Jack. Not this one. That man stood, he said, no. Please. My baby,
Poor
I
people.
have to get her bag. No, please. That flight attendant got up. She was a black girl. She came over. She said, "What the hell are you doing?" He said, "No, my bag. I have to, my child.
Oh,
He's
so
like,
bad.
sit your ass down, nigga. Like it just started going crazy. That man sat down, and when I tell you,
the elevators there,
this
or
man,
He
if you walk
probably
this
down
ain't
man
to
moved
the
that
came up.
whole
a
trip.
stairway right there on that.
Hey, this man came up and he looked at me. He said, "Young brother." I said, "Yes, sir." He said, "Somebody was about to die tonight, wasn't it?" I said, "Listen, we ain't even near the runway yet." He gets up and he got a whole turban on. We ain't. It's too soon, Doc.
Yeah.
You can't do
Call
that.
me
It's
Wesley Snipes from Passenger 57.
Passenger 57.
Sit down or get laid down.
John
Bruh,
Cutter.
it's this ain't the time, Doc. This ain't it. And I
Or the
think
place.
that's that. You know, you want to see how powerful we are, Terrence. You made a point. Very good point. I think if we had been on them planes and all you had was a box cutter, listen. If I know that I could save us from crashing into these buildings or going down, they didn't even have
Here's
to
the
go
truth
into the
about
World
that.
Trade Center.
If it's a box cutter, most of us generally carry a jacket on the plane anyway. I'm
Yeah,
wrapping
so
that sucker
I'll wrap
around
it up and
my
yeah,
arm,
yes, sir.
and
Yes, sir.
I'm going
Anything
in.
can be
Yes,
a
sir.
weapon.
I'm going in
Let
plain
me
and
tell
simple.
you. Let me tell you.
It goes from there.
I've never been in a fight in my life, my entire life. But you best believe I would have found
Now,
something. Okay.
I'm not trying to make it seem like I'm the most bravest cat or nothing
No,
like
it
that.
don't
It's not
matter.
even about that. But
Not
if
at
it's really
all.
coming down to my life, I think that God is going to give me something from somewhere
Right.
Got that
I would
right.
have killed.
that's
I
going
would
to
have killed
allow
you.
me
I
to
would have
stand
killed
up
you.
and do what I need to do.
I would have killed you with a spork
Because
or something in your eye.
my mama told me a long time ago. She said, when you leave out of my house, you better come back the same way you came in there.
Yeah.
I'm
My
with
mama told me
Brent.
my hair better be the same.
Lay down,
Either get
right?
sit
Sit
down or
down
lay
or
down.
get laid
Lay
down.
down, and if you lay
And,
down, you
I
stay
didn't
down.
get that story.
yeah,
I
There
didn't
it
get
is.
that story. My mom was
yeah.
like, tell somebody and talk your way through it. I'm like, okay.
Tanya, you got 4 people on here from New Jersey, and all I'm gonna
I
tell you
know.
is this:
I know. Don't tell Linda
we
that
don't
if she's
we
still on.
don't
Tell
we
her.
don't we don't know what any of that is. We don't know. Well, listen, let us reason together. We don't know what that is. We
Yeah.
don't. I can tell you, if I was to get in a fight and I sat up there and said, you know what, hold on, bro, let's sit down and talk about this. The whole crowd is gonna look at me and go, what the hell is wrong?
No.
And it's not even that though, but
No.
understand that if I had to defend, I'm gonna use anything that I have, right? Like it's not gonna look great. They're gonna say, how did you use this spork to pull his whole eyeball
It's
eyeball
easy.
out?
It's easy.
Because, or how did
It's
you
easy.
take this chapstick and you
And
stuck
shove
it
it
up
down
his
his throat and he choked
yeah
on it. Yeah, we
yeah
got it.
I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just gonna take whatever I have and I'm gonna use what I have and I'm gonna take this straw and you ain't gonna be able to breathe no more
Hey Chris.
because I'm just wild.
Hey Chris. All I know is that seatbelt and that strap that hold that seatbelt together. Let me cut
You
that
bet.
up and wrap it around my fist.
Whatever
But
it
I'm gonna
takes.
hit you with my bare hands. You got a box cutter? No, I'm gonna hit you with my bare hands. I'm not even
We are a
using them,
people of provision. We will find something
My
bruh.
people are
quick,
provision.
fast, and in a hurry,
All I know is if
and
I
handle what we got to handle.
shake that can of the dry
We'll be
can up
telling
real good and make it hit your eyes, it's gonna burn
we'll
you
be
for at
telling
least
the
about 4 or
flight
5
attendant,
seconds.
you
It's gonna
tell the
give you
captain,
minutes.
just fly the plane. Don't worry, we got this back here.
Yeah. No, you just stay the
Yeah.
course. If we going to, hey
Mr. Captain,
Terrence,
sir, you fly the plane.
Terrence.
We got this back here.
If we sit up there and told him, listen, you just go ahead to LA. We all right. You go ahead. We just make
We got
sure
this.
don't worry about it. We'll be all right.
And
But
again, it might seem like, I hope somebody listening, we're not making light of it or making a joke of it.
No,
What we're saying is that
No,
we
we're
know
not.
we are a
Yeah.
resilient type of people. And if
right.
some of
I
us
agree.
had been in that situation, things would not have been as simple and as smooth for the hijackers. That's all I'm saying.
I agree
yeah, and I
with
think
you on that one.
I think at this point, even with the meltdown of I thought okay, even with the meltdown of the Wi-Fi went, all the systems went down or whatever. As I said, it just looked like there was something to that. Now I understand everybody
Well,
was saying no, it wasn't a cyber attack. It wasn't.
No,
Here's
it
the
wasn't.
thing: we could now, okay. Now we could say that. Now we could say that. We could say no, it was this company or whatever. Here's the reality: we don't know. We don't know. We don't know.
Could have been a
well,
prank.
it was never the internet. It was Windows system. It was never the internet was still available.
Well, it wasn't Windows specifically. It was a particular software that is Windows based. And they tried to
Yeah.
do an upgrade or an update or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And somebody either keyed something in wrong or the code for the update was written incorrectly. And that was kind of really, what happened. But to
But
Kevin's
because
point, we
so
don't
many
really know.
people,
That's
we
the
don't know
official line that's
exactly.
been given us. We really don't know.
And it made us susceptible for anything that could come. So that's to his point, to Kevin's point. It made us open to because the company that actually did the update is a company that actually stops malware and stuff like that. So we could have been susceptible to anything at that point for those few hours. It was a great day
See
for
what I'm
me at
saying?
work. It was a great day for me at work. I mean, I was selfish to call
But
out.
even with being susceptible to anything for a few hours, we do understand that it's back up. But now there's two things. Number one, how do we know that during the time that we were down,
Right.
how do we know that something was not implemented so that it can, how do we know that?
Right.
How do we know that? How did we
So
know
we
that?
need walkie-talkies, Kevin.
Well, like you said, when it came down to that, because there was an update that did not happen, as you said, now the system is vulnerable.
Yeah.
So to your point, you don't know what someone could have used that moment of access and opportunity
All the
to insert
information they
something.
got. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That's all I'm
I mean,
saying.
now we're not conspiracy theorists. It's not nothing like that. But we also have to recognize that there's a lot of people out there that have a lot of twisted ideas about how they can just mess up things in this country, and they'll leap on every opportunity.
That's
Yeah, I
true.
agree.
They will leap on
I agree.
any opportunity that they see. I'm told that Delta, as an airline, has probably still had the most impact because they still haven't gotten all their stuff together.
Yeah.
That was the last
Right.
report I heard earlier today.
It's under a federal investigation at this point.
Right.
And I
It
can
is.
say this because I work for Delta. And or not yeah. I still get a check from Delta. I'll leave it at that.
Amen.
So it's under federal investigation, and they're trying to figure out why Delta is the only airline that keeps canceling flights, like consistently back to back.
And still, right? Like up to today, right?
Still,
Up to today,
yeah. I know for a fact that now they don't know where flight attendants are, so they can't track them. So it's a staffing issue. I know one of my friends got called and was like, "Okay, we're rerouting you home," and he was like, "Wait, I am home." Like, they was like, "What do you mean you home?" He was like, "I've been home," and so they don't even know where the flight attendants are, pilots, and then a lot of people are timing out. It's just a lot of different things going on with
That's
that. I
crazy.
mean, like I said, I don't even have my clothes. So,
did you stop in Raleigh?
I did. So I left Newark. I was in Jersey for a week, and I had to come down to Palm Beach. So I had to fly to Raleigh, Durham in order to get out of Newark. I had to fly to Raleigh, Durham. Raleigh, Durham, I was supposed to go to Atlanta to Palm Beach. But what I did was that flight to Palm Beach from Atlanta kept getting delayed. And so I just hopped on the flight to Fort Lauderdale. But because my bag was already checked, it was still supposed to go to Palm Beach, and that never happened. So,
Wow.
I think you know, I really don't. I don't know what to say. I just think we're seeing things that we've never seen before.
Yeah.
Um, and ain't nothing new under the sun. But God, dog, I mean, you know, and I say this. I say this with the greatest of passion, as much as possible. Um, but that woman, and I have to go back to this. It bothered me a little bit. That woman getting shot is no different from somebody coming in and shooting my mother or shooting my sister. Um, you know, I would never want to walk around and see that Tanya has been hurt like that. And I think a lot of time my daughter, um, it just bothers me that even with the and I'm pulling it all together, even with the Wi-Fi system, even with whatever this was, attack or glitch, whatever. If your defenses are pulled down, anybody can do anything to you.
Yeah.
With Brent saying he don't have his clothes, but his clothes are in this area or whatever, this is because of the faulty system that has been going on for the last week almost. I'm finding that the people are still just getting home from the Stella Awards. Like somebody just posted, they just got home today. And the Stellas was over Saturday. Today is Wednesday. They just getting home. Because if you're going cross country like that, it's not easy. And it's just what's going on right now that there's just too many excuses why things are not better. I've said it before. America, when I look at Japan, let's just look at Japan. Let's look at Japan. Just Japan alone. Japan makes America look like a third world country. Like for real. With all of the stuff that they have going on and the new electronics and, just architectural wise, just the way they have, if you look over there in Japan and you look over here, this looks like a third world. We look like we are so far behind everybody else.
And we are.
And we really are. If y'all don't mind, I'm a PlayStation head. Like, oh my God, PlayStation 4. Japan is already up to PlayStation 10.
Really?
They've been on. They was on 9 back in '96. Like they already had that stuff. They are on PlayStation 10 right now. They have games that are so high tech that you have to literally. How, I don't know if y'all know, but when you go on PlayStation, they tell you, this has different lights and different scenes and different changes of whatever. If you have seizures or whatever, you have to be careful.
Right.
You have things in there when you're playing these games. You have to wear special glasses. That's how high tech they are. You don't need to buy a separate. What do they call those things, Tanya? The visual things, the virtual mask that you put on the lenses or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have those in Japan anymore. Literally, you can turn your game system on. It turns your whole house into a doggone arcade.
Mm.
But we sitting over here going, I got the brand new phone. Dude, their phones are so, yeah, that's true. The U.S. is about to be humble. I'm trying to tell y'all, and after a while, we're going to look like the outskirts of Jamaica in a minute. Because
outskirts of Jamaica.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's bad. Even if you go to Kingston, it's bad. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a lot happening that we really have to, okay, Terrence, we really have to pay attention to. I think the sad part about it is that we have gotten to a place where we are so arrogant about where we are and who we are, and that's why a lot of countries don't like us because, they see how, say people do, look at all the vanity, look at social media and, look at all this stuff. I just, it's really just one of those things where it's like, this is just a wake up call. We need to pay attention to the signs. And that's really what's going on. I think I said it to Tony the other day. I said, there was a lot of stuff that I was following on social media before. I'm so desensitized now. Like I'm so desensitized. I'm just desensitized. I don't want to see no woman shaking her booty on my page no more. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see you in no bathing suits and walking around here in a thong and just I got more. Who I'm following now are these comedians and these people scaring people when they coming out the bathrooms and stuff. I'm watching that. I get a kick out of that. I think that's the funniest thing in the world. But just looking at all of this stuff and seeing how and I was saying to one of my friends, these women can't have no man because as a man, you can't be up there thinking it's okay for every man to see what your woman got. You this ain't. This is just this is you're degrading, and you got thousands of followers. Just because they're following you don't mean they're behind you, sweetheart. I just want y'all to understand that. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I don't know. I'm just a sensitive. Pastor Cunningham.
Praise the Lord. I apologize for my tardiness. I was we are in holy convocation, and I was convocating. Praise the Lord.
All right. Yeah.
Local
We
convocation.
appreciate it. We thank you for coming on, brother.
I had to pop on. I couldn't. I missed last week because I was away, but I couldn't not come on this week because I missed my family.
Well, we weren't here last week. We gave last week a break.
See?
Yeah, and I don't want to discuss this at this time, but it seems like it's a good segue. But when I tell you, I hated to turn my phone on because all of these announcements of transitioning from, I just I couldn't. And we're gonna hold off on that. I probably shouldn't have went that far with it, but
Yeah, no, I got you.
last week was and this week ain't no better.
And
Can we take a moment and talk about that?
The
We're
last
gonna do it
month,
later.
Okay.
Say it again.
I said the last month has been crazy.
The last month, I don't really, I don't really know how to even. I won't even say gauge. I just don't know emotionally how to just accept all of this right now. I'm just being honest. I just don't. I didn't say I couldn't accept it. I'm just saying it's hard to
Exactly.
But it's just the majority of the people who died, I have a history with these people, as those do, and it's just I don't know. I
That's
don't
the
really
thing
know.
about it. We don't have a say in it.
Yeah.
That's what's so gut punching about it. It's like
And you don't think these people gonna go nowhere? Like you just not them. As my sister said, I know some people that need to go. Why are you taking them? Like
listen,
it's
I got
some
a
folks.
list I got about 3 for sure.
I know if Biden dies before Charles Edward Blake, it's a setup. I know that much. That's all I'm gonna say. Blake been shaking for 27 years.
I don't want to have this discussion.
That's one way.
And if Joe Biden dies before Charles Edward Blake, this thing is rigged.
He said, "You've been shaking for years."
Grim Reaper's
He stir his own coffee. Just put it in his hand. You know what I'm saying?
You don't have to put nothing in it. He just
hold it.
Oh my God.
I'm done.
Brent.
Like Muhammad Ali when he
Like
was at the
Muhammad
Olympics.
Yeah. Muhammad Ali couldn't even punch himself if he tried.
He was about to burn in lantern. My man was like,
you know what? Y'all need to stop.
Y'all going to hell.
They already there. They already there.
oh Jesus.
Yeah, I just it's what was I? This fool messed me up. It was it's just a lot going on. There's a fool on Instagram that said, if you're a woman that got more than 2 baby daddies, please don't vote because you're gonna pick the wrong man again.
I had to repost that one, honey.
That's hilarious.
I mean, because the track record is shabby.
That's it. You,
Hilarious.
you on my with more than 2 baby daddies, don't vote because you're gonna pick the wrong man again. Dude, when I had to put my phone down and get the one knee, I died. So, oh man, that killed me. But who y'all voting for this year? Because now it ain't Biden that's running, and we got Sister Kamala Harris.
She better remember as black people.
Who y'all? Terrence, I really want to get your take on this because I've heard you for years and years. What do you think Kamala Harris can do for this country?
What do I think she can or cannot do? I'm sorry.
Well, okay. What do you think she can do, and then what do you think she can't do?
Based on the resume of the woman that I've read about, I think that it's really fair to say that she's almost limitless in what she can do. What she can't do, unfortunately, there is a faction amongst people of color as well as others
Absolutely.
that will never fully trust the capacity or the ability of a woman to carry forth the office of the presidency.
Mm-hmm.
I don't hold that opinion personally, but I know that there are many people, men and women, that will feel that somehow her being a woman is a negative in terms of her ability to lead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So in other words, you're saying she can't change male bias opinions. That's what you
Correct.
Well, there you go.
gotcha. Many of us
They'll
right.
always say, and please, ladies, excuse me, no, I don't mean no disrespect. They'll always say she just doesn't have the balls for the job.
But sometimes you got to put us in position like that for us to show you our balls.
Say that again, I can unhear you.
Oh,
But
God.
sometimes you got to put us in that position for us to show you our balls. I got 2 big balls. We'll talk about them later.
Tracy, whatever's it, don't.
Babe,
let's
be
not.
quiet. Be quiet.
No,
Yeah,
no,
go to Tracy.
you be quiet.
Go to Tracy.
We didn't get here till you said it.
Listen, you can't say that kind of stuff. It's 2024.
I was taking over Brent's position. We both had the same outfit on today.
Not by choice.
Not by choice, but we're still cute and fly.
I just feel that Kamala Harris needs to do one thing. I feel that she needs to understand that she's coming into a mess.
She is.
And how you move through the mess is your defining moment.
Can I ask you guys a question?
I wasn't finished, but go ahead.
I'm sorry, sweetheart. You finish.
Go ahead. I'm good now.
She's coming to a mess. What does the vice president do?
You said, what does a vice president do?
I was letting you talk.
Her first job is she is the president of the Senate.
Oh, okay.
Stuff we don't see.
Mm-hmm.
So she, she's not a vice president. I don't want to genderize it because it's not about whether it's male or female. The vice president is not just sitting over in an office in a corner doing nothing and waiting for the president to kick over. They have specific assignments. I don't know every assignment, but I know one of the assignments is the president of the Senate.
Okay, I didn't know that.
So you have a majority leader, but she serves as president of the Senate so that if there's ever a 50-50 tie, she can come in and her vote counts as the tiebreaker.
Wow, I didn't know that.
And there are other assignments that a vice president has. A vice president receives the same security briefing that the president does on a daily basis. So that president, so God forbid, if something happens to the president and he keels over in the middle of the day, there's only so much they have to do to bring the vice president up to speed on what's going on in the world.
Okay.
But they do things. They do things.
Okay, I wasn't sure. I just didn't know.
And here's what's funny: a lot of people don't know that makeup at all. They don't know what like the different or different responsibilities of a vice president, a state senate, state representative. A lot of us don't know that. All we know is who's in that front office and what they're doing to do this and do that. And I think a lot of times we're miseducated in a lot of ways because of the faulty system.
Right.
Yeah.
We you can't tell me I should learn this, but ain't nobody acting in it. It's like it's just amazing to me how like people are walking around here with bad credit. You do know that the government can turn all that around in one fell swoop. You know what? Everybody start over. Everybody start over. But if they do that, now people have power that you don't want them to have. Listen, the credit game is literally bound to slavery. We were in an airport and this little person at Panera Bread told us that, and it never left my mind. She said, because I used to be like this. I was a person, I'm paying cash for it. If I ain't got the money, I ain't getting it. That's it. And I went and got a credit card, and I've been on pins and needles ever since. Literally. Because once you start, you can't flop that because it's going to damage your opportunities or, moments of trying to buy a home, get a car. Some jobs won't hire you if your credit is at a certain amount.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? They won't give it to you. So the whole credit thing is again. But somebody put a post up that said, "Hey Joe, before you leave, just forgive all my loans. Don't you walk out that office without my loans being forgiven." You know what I'm saying? But the government can change all of that.
They can.
But just like somebody said that COVID came because they're trying to minimize the population in America or on this earth. It's way too many people. So we got to try to kill some of these people off because they taking up too much. You know what I'm saying? Credit is the same way. If we turn around and literally make it to where you are bound to a certain stigma because of your credit score, then we in the game. We all right. So we don't have to kill you physically to kill you financially.
Yeah.
From financial power. And this is what I want to say. That's why these nasty churches get on my nerves, because they only want you to be good enough to give them what they need. You know what I'm saying? But when it's time to get paid and when it's time to do what you need to do, now they turn around and telling you, well, you really need to do it for, the joy of the Lord. And, you really need to be serving God through this or whatever. Then hey, pastor, stop taking your stipend then. Stop taking your cut. Stop taking yours off the top then. The reason why I can't get paid because you taking it all.
I don't get a stipend at my church.
We love you. The other thing is it's the same thing with regular work, right? So like I go in, I sit there, I have an interview, I start a job, but then when I do something wrong, I gotta go. Well, guess what? When I want to go for another job and I'm in good standing with you, I may not give you 2 weeks because you didn't give me 2 weeks. If you would not have given me 2 weeks if I did something wrong. I agree.
TD Jakes came on side and said, y'all all keep trying to keep the 100. He said, that's your problem. You trying to keep it 100. He said, keeping it 100 is when you go into your job and tell everybody, I can't stand you. I don't like you. I don't want you telling me what to do. And he said, and then you get fired because you kept it 100.
Yeah.
You go around in your family, you cursing everybody out, whatever. You giving them all this stuff. You kept it 100. Now your family don't like you. They don't talk to you. They don't speak. You can't keep no friends because you keeping it 100. And I was like, you know what? I don't really know what the case is regarding you right now, but you still out here preaching, brother. I don't know I don't know what's going on. I ain't heard nothing lately. But
swallowed.
You see what I'm saying? That's people can't move ahead when you keep doing
your
that.
eyes are scaring me.
No, Tanya, no. Those eyes mean He
Yeah.
know, but he ain't saying.
Right. That's exactly what the
It
eyes
don't
mean.
take much.
Or he
I'm just
wants to
coming in.
say, or
I
he
don't know.
wants to say.
I don't know what cup he had or what
He
edible
can't
he
say.
had.
He said
He
grandma.
had his
can't-
grandparents' house. He had his
Yeah.
grandparents' house.
Oh, so he holy to
It ain't
It
no
ain't even that.
alcohol in this house nowhere.
Just
It
leave some
ain't
apple
even no
juice out.
communion cups in this house.
Let's leave some apple juice out overnight. You get
Oh my God.
Let
Put it
it
in the
ferment.
heat. Let it ferment for a little while.
Right.
I woke up this morning to quartet music, old westerns, the smell of bacon and coffee, and my grandmother at the table reading the daily bread.
and
I'm
you
not mad
loved
at
every
that. I'm
second
not
of
mad
it.
at any of
Good
that. I'm not
time.
mad at any of that.
And you loved it.
Let me tell you something.
Kids on clothes right now.
We had devotion this morning, and she wanted to speak in tongue. I was like, sis, it's 8 o'clock.
Not sis, grandma.
I'm like, sis,
You
relax.
were sure on here preaching 2 weeks ago, so you can't say nothing.
So, you know, it comes and it goes.
Yeah.
I think it's gone now for a little while. It'll be back.
Can I ask you a question?
Your damn clothes is hooked up in that damn airplane.
I want my
Yeah.
clothes.
You know they designer. You know they designer.
You know they are.
Yes,
I
I have
saw
some
the outfit you wore the
Gucci
other day.
shoes in that bag that I
The
really
bag that is
need.
in is designer.
Send it my way. Send it
Oh,
to 1620. I
God.
ain't gonna say what it is, but send it my way.
And that's
Tom,
not
you
to
are
be
really
first
doing too much
world.
right now.
That's not to be first world, but I
She's
don't
doing
wear
too much.
nothing but
Yeah, she's
designer
doing
shoes.
too much. She's doing too much.
I don't wear nothing but designer shoes, and that's not to be, you know, better than anybody else. But God, hey, I'm just saying, I need shoes. Those shoes
Can
was
I
a
ask you
lot
a
of money.
question?
Go
Can I
ahead.
ask you a question? How does The Simpsons predict some of the stuff that's happening right now?
They're
Tell me
prophetic.
what's going on.
They're prophetic.
I
They're
mean, that's just the
prophetic.
only
They gotta
answer.
be.
I mean, okay.
They listen.
They got a
the
gift
one-
of prophecy and don't even realize they got it. They
Listen.
being funny.
Right.
There's
No,
some
really,
people. There's some people who have watched The Simpsons. I watched them.
I didn't.
I had the cassette tape of the Bartman and all. I did all of that, and I had that tape thing, and I did not know. And I'm gonna tell you when I felt like they was kind of connected spiritually, when they had Daryl Coley singing the national anthem.
I remember
as
that.
Lee Gums Murphy.
That was hilarious.
And I sat up there and I kept telling people, that's Daryl Coley. No, it ain't, Kevin.
Daryl
You don't know what
Coley,
you're talking
yes,
about.
it was.
It was.
That man's name came up on them credits. I said, I told you. And their mouths were open. But that just let me know that somebody somewhere knows something. Like there's some kind of connection. Because they don't deal with gospel artists like that in Hollywood.
Right. It's a little too churchy.
They don't deal with them. Absolutely. And that was
way too churchy.
Yeah, and I couldn't understand it because at the time Daryl Coley was hot. Like he was real hot. That When the Music Stops album was out. And he was real hot. But I was like, how did he get on a but somebody somewhere you would ask some question, how did they predict all this stuff? And you know, it wasn't just The Simpsons. Star Trek predicted it.
Oh wow.
Buck Rogers predicted it. Battlestar Galactica. What was the name of the other one? What's the man's name? Steve Austin. All of it. They was talking about how they were doing cloning. They showed one episode where one guy was trying to create another $6 million man.
Wow.
And they kept saying you have to have a certain amount of cells. You have to have a certain amount of veins. He's not going to be the same if we don't have the what. We have to have not only this metallic aspect, but we have to have his DNA.
Wow.
So they were going around poking holes in him, like when he would sit down and be talking to somebody walk up and take a needle and stab him in his arm, you know, because they had blood cells, and then they would go back and try to, you know, match that strand. Kevin, why do you know all that? But I'm just saying, it was just
why do you know?
Yeah. But it's amazing to me how much this country has been notified. We have been warned through Hollywood what's going on. I say it again, enemy of the state, Will Smith and Gene Hackman was going back and forth, and they was putting them cameras in the smoke detectors and doing all that stuff. When they had all that stuff going on, I was like, somebody telling us something.
Yeah.
It's Steven Spielberg. Like y'all notice now how they keep talking about these UFOs that's coming out of nowhere. Have y'all seen that? Every time you turn on social media, they talk about we saw something funny in the sky. One plane was flying,
That's
and
been
there was
for a long time.
Can I say something? I believe that yes, my God is so big that there's life forms elsewhere.
Yeah.
I believe that. I don't know about the whole alien thing. I don't know about
But
that.
there's life forms. Yeah, I agree.
But it's like Mars. Like when you're looking up at that star, that's not the North Star. That's Mars we looking at. The North Star is opposite direction, but Mars will. And you mean to tell me if we get all the way up there, you think that the Earth is the only thing that has life forms on it? I'm sorry, I don't believe that. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. So, some of these bugs that's out, I'm like, what is your purpose? Why are you? What is this for?
We were looking at yesterday. Was that yesterday or today? We were looking at, it was yesterday, looking at Australia and like some of these big like spiders. I was watching the Kardashians and it was like a spider as big as my hand. Like my hand is a big hand. And you tell me it's a spider that's just randomly in your hotel room? Absolutely not.
On the curtain.
Throw my luggage, myself, my hair, just throw everything away and start from the top. Mom, rebirth me. If you're on here still, rebirth me. Because I'm like, no, just throw me the whole way. Because whatever I'm gonna do.
No spiders.
And I had a friend who, with my friend Monica, she went to Australia with her brother a couple of years ago, about 3-4 years ago, and she's showing us the bats that are the size of me, just in a bat form. I'm not a small person.
I've been to Australia 4 times, and I want to tell y'all something.
I never want to go there ever.
I was there. I told Tanya that they told us in this beautiful hotel, I'm staying at the Hotel Nico at the time, and they told us that when you're done with your bags, to keep your bags lifted. Now, wait a minute, but I was on the 16th floor, right?
It is lifted.
Keep your bag exactly. Keep your bags lifted and keep them either in the closet up on the ramp right there where you can put your stuff, or keep it on the suitcase holder where you can put your suitcase. Just keep it lifted because they have worms that spew acid out there. Tracy. I said spew acid. I said, wait a minute, here's my thing. Why do they spew acid? What's the purpose of that? And the lady said, I don't know. We just know that people have gotten hurt and had to be hospitalized because they got saturated with this acid that comes from these worms.
And God, why did you create this thing?
At first, and then secondly, why are they up on the 16th floor? Who brought them up here? I'm trying to say, who brought them up here? Because there's no reason for these things to be this high up. The 16th floor is not 12 feet from the ground. Like we up here. And like they just on the wall like.
They just hanging out.
Yes.
I mean,
you
big.
play bass, right?
Right.
We can't use the bass line.
Yeah, what's that? Hey, man, I heard you last night. The hell?
Play Frankie Beverly, please. Yeah. Play my jam.
Before I let go.
Right, before I let go.
Yeah. What's that line? You better tell me I'm gonna spit on you. You better tell me. But yeah, it's just really weird. A lot of the stuff is
it's wild.
Somebody said something here. I'm trying to see what it is. I don't think he got shot at all. When they pulled him to the ground, they dressed his hair. That was a while ago. Okay. Yeah. Australia is now. There's a place I want to say in Bali that is totally covered in spider webs.
I like it.
They're totally covered in spiders. They're telling everybody who lives there, stay in the house. They said the spiders are non-venomous, but they're just the size of watches. And they're the size of like grapefruit. They said they're huge. And the whole province is covered. It looks like a white sheet over the whole province. And they're just covered in spider webs.
Absolutely not.
And so I looked on there. It said, "Yeah, if you're not in this country, don't come here." I said, "You can have that place. Ain't
The
nobody
entire
going over
place.
there. The entire. And why don't y'all light it on fire? Somebody go outside and take a torch
And just
start burning that stuff." And we was
Start
trying
it
to
over from
figure
the
out.
top.
We was trying to figure out where they came from, and as anything else, they come from. If you live by the water, pretty much water brings life to a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So they're coming from the water. They're water walkers that are growing. So they just saturating the whole thing.
They worship stuff like that over there in those type of countries. I know in Bali, they worship rats. Rats are considered sacred animals, and what they do is the rats are like big as cats, and so what they do is they kind of like they leave food and stuff out for them, and then what they do is that the same water that the rats bathe in, they wash themselves with it because they consider it sacred water.
It's disgusting.
And so
right.
everybody want to
absolutely
worship
disgusting.
everything but God. So
if
It's
Shredder,
funny because
Shredder is the Teenage Ninja Turtle, Shredder is the big red. So if they saw him, they would just be like, "Woo!"
yeah, it's
for
considered a
real.
god. They consider it a god, and then I know in India they worship cows as well, which is why they don't eat them.
Right.
Interesting.
But they wouldn't like me because baby, I would have the best burger. You hear me? But they worship stuff like that.
Brent, you're such a
It's
wealth of
funny.
knowledge. But how do you know this?
Yeah.
Well, I've done a lot of traveling. And I've been a lot of different places, seen a lot of things, seen a lot of people.
I've seen what's the song? I've seen
Been a lot of places, seen a lot of people, and I never. Yes. Donald Lawrence.
Brent, that's how Brent. What you just said right now is how you and Tracy became best friends on this app.
Yep.
I'm gonna put that out there. I'm gonna let it go.
mean, yeah, it really is. It's a true story. But you know what? To be honest with you, so to answer the question too, Pastor Justin, I also was a child that liked to study like weird stuff. So like anything that people would find like gross and like not entertaining, I would do research on and like study just so I could like know. And that's what I did with languages and stuff like that. And then as well as religions, because my father used to always tell us Christianity is not the only way. There's something good in every religion. So you need to study it because it all goes back to Christianity, and you can always find you dissect what works for you and what don't work for you. So I just am a researcher. I like doing that kind of stuff.
There's a name for people like you.
Weird.
Morticians.
You say mortician? I don't want to be with no dead body. No.
I'm just fascinated with how it works.
Although you know what? No,
Look,
that's Pandora's box.
See,
because I really want to know. I really want to know what I've been thinking a lot about since everybody that's been like passing away. I really want to know like what state of mind are you in when you get right to that point of if you're going to choose to go on or if you're going to choose to stay. Like the Bible talks about a choice, an ultimate choice of where he gives you the permissive will to choose if you want to go on or if you want to stay. Like I believe like what really happens when he opens up heaven and shows you the great mystery.
We ain't ready for that though.
Listen, I thought about that. I thought about that heavy when Melvin died. And it was just like, if he had a choice, would he come back? And I'm like, he got a son. I was like, but you talking about heaven?
Like when he opens it up and shows you, like what, like I don't know.
Let me say this: the way that the heavens is described in the Bible, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would have been took heaven as an option, right? Then, especially with what's going on in these days, right? Oh, it'd have been not even a thought I'd have been like, yeah, just take me there. Everybody else will get there. It's gonna take them a while.
Beam
But
me
they'll
up,
get over it.
Scotty.
Beam me up, Scotty. Beam quickly. Like this is too long. Yeah, but so I hear you. It's funny because I had a client today that was telling me that his wife died, and he tried to go with her. That's what he said. And he said she kicked me out. I said, and first of all, I'm supposed to give empathy. I'm like, I'm so sorry for your loss of your wife. He's like, yeah, I tried to go, but she kicked me out. I went, okay, well maybe. I'm like over here like, what do I say? Maybe it's not your time, sir. You know,
maybe next time. I don't know.
Maybe so.
Get married again and try the
If
second time.
I could have a choice, right? If I can have a choice, God, and I know that it's God's perfect will and His permissive will, but if I can have a choice, take.
And the only reason I want to know about that is because the stories that we read in the Bible about who was that Paul said he saw a number that no man could number.
Mm-hmm.
And like when you get to that point, like how could they come back if they saw this? How could they come back and write about it and describe it? Like, how come some of us are not that close to God to where He'll show us the great mystery of?
And
I know we can't handle it, and I know we cannot. Our mortal bodies cannot physically take it. But Elisha, like, he was taken up in a cloud in a chariot.
Good.
Like,
that's good. That's good.
Like, what? Where are you in your mind or in your life when that happens? So.
He said, "I'm on the phone."
He got to talk. Yeah, he got to talk to the parents. They don't know about technology. We're gonna shut up for a minute.
I'm on the phone.
Pardon me. I have an 11-year-old who need to be in the goddamn bed.
We want to see him.
No, Joseph. Y'all really? Are you sure? I don't know.
Tanya does that all the time, and it's like, you know what?
That's not cool to say that, because you be saying all the time and always. That's not true.
Okay. There's a lot of times she says that.
Hello.
I don't like how you change that. I don't like that.
This
Tracy
to be in the bed.
Tracy, I'm glad you're on here. I'm gonna swing this direction for 1 second. I put up a post that said, and Justin's on here. That's right. He's on the phone, but he's on.
Where did Avery go?
He's coming back.
Okay.
I put up a post that said, what bass amp couldn't go that you know can do no wrong? That you know would never let you down, never, And I've always wanted to ask. I got over 192 comments on that one post that I put up, and there was a bunch of guys, and everybody kept saying, "Kevin, what's yours?" I never said it. But what is your go-to? Like, if you can have any bass amp, what would it be?
I really like the sound of Harkey. I think it was amp and head, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Harkey, and for some strange reason, Jens bends the head when you cross the two.
Really?
Oh my God.
Really?
The two, yes.
That is amazing to me, because I didn't see nobody on them comments talk about Jens bends at all.
No.
Didn't see it at all. Never saw it.
I didn't see Harkey. Was Harkey there?
Oh, there you are. What's up, man?
Hey.
Hi.
How you doing?
Good.
Welcome to the show there, buddy.
You so handsome.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
Oh,
you so cute.
Okay. Bye.
No, don't do that.
Right.
Your daddy is special.
Brent know who he dealing with. Y'all don't know.
Right.
Because we're making chocolate chip cookies right now.
It's after 11 o'clock over there.
Yeah.
he always be doing this. What did he make that week? And Tanya, you went and made it.
Deviled eggs.
Deviled eggs. You right. And I was like,
I was hot at night, but not tonight.
Delicious. You right.
Right.
You hit that
Yeah.
right.
Justin, what's yours?
So you said what amp never lets you down, right? That was the question.
Right. Because I saw something. I'm gonna say it in a minute.
That David Eden for me is undefeated. I'm sorry. It is undefeated.
The
Now,
whole setup or just the head and not the cabinet? Which one?
oh no. The tour, yeah, head and 410s. Oh yeah, undefeated in my book. I've never did you look it takes you have to know how to dial into it. And most people don't know how to dial into it and get the EQ right.
Mm-hmm.
And so
That's why a lot of people say they hate it.
it's complicated. They like the simple bass, mid, high, and they can
Mhm.
maneuver it that way. But man, when you get that right mix and EQ, that David Eden is
Yeah.
undefeated. I was at AIM when I first got my bass mod. Man, that thing was singing.
Well,
Your bass mod sound good too.
Thank you. The 6 or the 5?
Whichever one you played on the AIM video, I couldn't. I was so like I never could focus on what you was
Which
playing.
AIM video? One with Myron?
No, the one you just did. The one I only saw you on one video.
What color was it? Was it white?
You had your back to the camera.
You
It was
sounded
a
better than
fan. It was
Kevin.
a fan. Ooh.
Never.
he said I sounded
Never.
what?
I said he sounded
On
better than Kevin.
my best day and his worst day. I never.
All right.
Ooh.
Never.
This is what I know.
The competition.
No, it's no competition between me and Justin. I'm ready to say something about Brent.
Come on, baby.
What I do know is that first of all, Justin is a phenomenal bass player, and I've said that
Yes.
for years, and I've always said that. It's funny to me that I guess both of us, neither one of us sound like we're from New York when we play. Neither one of us sound like.
Is there a sound? Is there a sound?
It kind of is,
Yes.
and there's a sound, and is, to be honest with you, especially when I was coming up, there was one guy that a lot of people tried to sound like because he was the first one to get this one bass. His name was Eddie White, and Eddie was the first one to get a Tobias bass that I've ever seen in my life. And right after Eddie got it, then Steve Huff came out with it like a year later. Steve had one, and New York just had a sound. Then Reggie Parker came around, and it was like, okay, we hear it, we get it. He's a Marcus Miller fanatic, so
Yes.
everything was Marcus Miller.
Literally.
Everything was Marcus Miller. And don't do. I'll be like, no, Reggie could play. When he ain't talking, he could play. Reggie could play, like
I
real.
give it to him. I give it to him.
But I never sounded like I was from New York, and I never sounded like I was from Jersey because I kept listening to a lot of West Coast people. I didn't listen to a lot of East Coast people. But the person that I did listen to a lot of times off of Mark Cooper's albums and Carnell Morrell and all of them was Brent Brown, right? And I listened to Brent Brown. Brent Brown was phenomenal. And Brent Brown would come to Jersey and let us have it. I'll be sitting there studying everything he did. So when Brent said that Justin sounds better than Kevin, I know he's literally just talking because he knows who I learned a lot from. So I'm just gonna leave that right there.
That was a great setup.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. Because I just wanted to be understood that you can't talk about me without talking about your dad.
That's hilarious.
All right.
I think I don't. I'm like you. I didn't grow up in Brooklyn music wise.
Right.
So I was a little different. But I think I more so might have probably patterned my style of playing after Maurice Fitzgerald.
Oh.
Probably is probably one of my biggest inspirations playing bass.
I just saw Maurice last year when we did our first show in Atlanta, and it's funny you say that because he said, "Yeah, I don't want to play if Kevin playing."
He was on. He had Verity on lock.
Yeah.
He was doing everything. But what album?
Until Snoop Allen showed up, then once that happened, it got bad.
This Snoop,
it got bad. It got bad after that.
Killing. But I think for me, what made me the record that really made me love Maurice was and probably it's probably gonna be crazy. Not John P. Key. It's probably the Marvin Sapp album, the first solo Marvin Sapp album.
And
That's
Martin's
that's
last name is what?
that's
Not the
really
time,
weird.
not the place.
Mm.
That's the for me.
Yeah, I can see that because of the placement of how he played it.
Yeah, but then Daryl Freeman came behind him on
Oh
that
my
that
God.
that next
And
one,
just
and that
and
just
just
messed it up.
master.
You talk about spider fingers. Good.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
and Daryl is really tall, so it's like to see him play is kind of like his fingers literally cover the fretboard. Like it's the funniest thing.
Yeah.
Well,
But
Justin, Kevin's my favorite bass player, and I love him.
No hard feelings. He's one of my favorites too. I
I
listen.
mean,
I
he
was listening.
good.
I was flying. I was when I was down in Florida at UMac, and I put on Tanisha's album while I was flying. Oh, no, I was in the airport for 7 hours. But man, listen, I was like, this Kevin Stanfield. This
I
Kevin.
appreciate it. But there's one person, I kid you not, I could name so many people, but it's so funny. I find myself even looking at this dude now. He's been gone for almost 5 years now. That's Joel Smith.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh,
And you know, I am deeply just I find myself listening to Joel like every other day. And I really don't know what to say. That first Family album, Going to a Place and What Is This and all,
How many?
Joel was he
What?
was 17 years old. He was 17. In 1981, he was 17 years old. And that boy played that Fender Jazz like somebody had a gun to his head.
Kev, I grew up, and the Hawkins album that I grew up on was Love Alive 5, I
Oh
think.
God. That
My
was the one
parents,
they did in Oakland, yeah.
yeah, my parents had that record. I didn't know who was playing. I just loved the music. And when I started connecting the dots, I was like, oh man. But what made me fall in love with Joel Smith, again, real crazy, T.D. Jakes, Mass Choir, Potter's House first
Oh
record.
yeah.
Mm.
That's when it was Kevin Bond, Jonathan DuBose, Joel
Yeah.
Smith,
Mhm.
Jeremy Haynes.
I said, who is this dude? First of all, I was like, he got an albino bass. What in the world?
That was
And
the
Mm-hmm.
F bass,
F,
Doc.
that F
That
bass
F
was
bass was
killer.
killing, bro.
And man, it was just his licks was so tasteful. And
Mhm.
so we praise you. Bitten did it, didn't did it. What? He was
Right.
I was like, yep, he got it. And then I
Now the
started
album that
connecting the dots of who he
we
was.
yeah. Now the album that messed me up was when him and Jeff Davis did DFW's album. That I'd rather have Jesus and all.
Yeah. Melvin wrote, what did he write? Thy name we praise.
Melvin wrote Thy Name We Praise, yeah. Melvin wrote that and they smashed that song.
The Melvin father or Melvin
The
Melvin
father,
son?
The
yeah.
Father.
father.
Okay.
The son must have been, if he was even born.
Yeah, I don't think he was born yet, was he?
He
Yeah.
got
He had
okay.
to be like
Okay.
2 years old when that album came out.
If he
Yeah,
was
he was
early.
young. Yeah, he was a baby.
Yeah, baby,
Wow.
like fresh.
Wow.
But yeah, that's who I listen to. But Justin, I gotta tell you, because Brent opened his mouth and said it, so I'm gonna say it again. Brent Brown's father, Brent Brown, used to come to Jersey. And one night he came to a church, and he came to Natalie Wilson's church, Simmons, excuse me. And that man took out Smith's bass. He didn't even bring a bass with him. And I was in the back, me and Chris was in the back of that church. And that man started playing. I was like, I don't know who this is. I went around that pulpit, went back that back wall, came out to where the musicians was. Brett Brown was late. And Mark Cooper had just came out with, yo, I'm telling you, man, the Florida had it for a little while back in like the late 80s, early 90s. The Florida had it because they had Mike Cooper, they had What's the name of the other choir? TM Mans.
The Ingram Singers.
They had the. I remember them.
They had
It
the
was
Ingram
TM.
Singers. They had
Who was
Florida
the other
Mass
mass
Choir.
choir? Florida Mass was out there.
Florida Mass Choir.
He did that album too, actually.
He did. But he was from Newark. My daddy is Jersey all day.
Yeah, but he don't. Yeah, but he play. Hey, Justin, you know some people that's from the South. Tracy got it too. Some people from the South, they just play like different than people from the East, like the Northeast. Like they just play different. Like they don't. They're not perfect with their notes. They slide notes like it's like. How did you?
So I had tell me that I was too perfect to play my. They told me I played too perfect.
Can they play it all?
Yeah.
Oh.
I have to tell you.
Too perfect? How does that work?
I don't know, but they just told me I played too perfect.
That's weird.
Okay.
That's weird.
I think it's misguided admiration, is what I think it is.
I agree. It's jealousy.
Yeah, I think it's because you. I think it's because you're a female that plays it better than they do.
I'm gonna show y'all something funny. You know you're at grandmother's house when this is in the kitchen. As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord.
Yeah. Ain't no millennials or pre-millennials or post-millennials put that on it. Yeah, you're right.
All right. So we out to end of this joint. I guess we could talk about it now. We all here now.
Which one you gonna talk about? The deaths or the Kimberell apology? Because I'm sick of these faggots.
You know what?
I did put that up there, didn't I? I said that on the post.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the Kimberell thing. She apologized.
Now let's let it go. It ain't no pleasing these sissies. You know what I'm saying? It ain't no pleasing them. It ain't no pleasing them. She can apologize until she ain't got no more voice left, and somebody still ain't gonna want to accept the apology. But my thing is, I text her and I told her, let this be the last time that you apologize to these broke ass faggots out here that don't know nothing about Jesus Christ, but all they know is about is sucking a bishop dick. You leave it alone. Because the same thing that they accusing you for, they done set up under, heard worse, done been called worse, and went and slept with the one that said it to them. So you shut up. Don't you say nothing else. Don't you put another nothing in nothing. You done apologize and let that be the last time. Because it's over. And every sissy that has tried to say something about it, I've been reading their ass like a Dr. Seuss book. Shut up. It's over. Is done. You need to make sure that your T cell count is in enough place and is a high enough level to where you ain't out here spreading all kind of sickness and diseases. Do you know your status? You mad at somebody who said what they said when they said what they said and how they said it, and it wasn't even directed to you. But you got so much to say. Let the woman go. She can't. She has apologized multiple times. What do you want her to do? But see, here's the thing. They sit up under these dogmatic men and you still get used. But I guess because they paying them at least $50 a Sunday and they'd keep the secrets, it's okay. Let it go. Let it go.
You know what you do? You know what you do, Brent? You hit us with these best shots. Hit me with your best shot.
I'm just sick of it. I'm tired of it.
And then before we want to say anything or questions, you answer the questions in the midst of the hit me with the best. There's a lot going on. That's needs to be unpacked.
I'm just because first of all,
I had questions I can't remember because
I wouldn't have apologized the first time. Screw all of y'all. I said what I said, and it is what it is. Now I don't feel that way now, but it is what it is. And so then that's just that. Yeah. That's how I feel about it. I told her, don't you let that be the last time. You don't owe nobody.
And sometimes you do get caught up in what people say and or think of you. I get that. Yeah.
I feel like this. If she apologized and said, listen, the love of God is what I'm going after, and you can't hurt people leading them to God, even if that was her belief. Because then underneath what they were saying was the apology attached to a check they had for her that if she didn't apologize, she didn't get the check.
Yeah.
So was the award, was it the award, coming at us and if you apologize to the community or whatever. The bottom line, I don't care what the reason was for. She apologized. There are some people that really don't care even after you apologize. It's
At
like
all.
they still want to just say, okay, but I heard you, but I still want to talk about it, but I still want to.
Right.
And the reality is now that the person has apologized,
Yeah.
it's not on them. It's on you now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because
People only want to talk about grace when they need it. Other than that, we don't extend it.
You're right.
No. I'm so sick of these
and
broke
it's
sisters.
amazing.
I don't know what to do.
It's like they'll sit up there, you'll apologize, and then now they want you to stand around while they get over what happened. Now you apologize, but now they want you to sit up here and sit in this toxic cesspool that says now you got to step on pins and needles because I'm not ready to get over what you may have done that offended me or you may have said or whatever. And the reality of it is, grow the hell up.
The process of healing is only for the wounded.
Absolutely.
The one who caused the wound.
Exactly.
The person who caused the wound, yeah.
Right. I say sorry because I see I can do wrong, but how you heal from it
is not my responsibility.
Right. That takes your time. That's your time.
Yeah, they want to hold stuff off of people's heads. And all I'm going to say is that when you've gotten to a place where you have to keep reminding people of the wrong they've done, you got to keep reminding people. You got to keep saying, listen, I know I made a mistake here, but you did the same thing. That's not being accountable.
Yeah.
That's not being accountable. If you sit up here and say, oh, you stepped on my foot. Well, last week you stepped on my. We're not talking about last week. We're talking about right now. And Kim apologized the other night, Saturday. She apologized.
Yeah.
Now I wish she hadn't said it because let's be clear, the majority of the people that support her are on that side. It's fine.
Right.
You'll pull your hole, do what you want to do. Sometimes, and you got to be careful at these churches because people are taping you whether you want them to or not. They still recording, and they can take what you said and tear it up. But the reality is, she just said what she believed. Isn't that what we're supposed to be able to do out here?
Yeah.
But the problem is now, this is what I learned, Brent. This is what I learned, Justin. I learned this. This is what I learned. There are some people who, once you have reached a point where you know how you can apologize and you can deal with the situation, now they have nothing else to be mad at you about.
No.
They have nothing to manipulate you with.
They have nothing to manipulate. So the first thing they do is try to bring you are not a credit counselor. You don't get to hold my past over my head for 7 years. And guess what else?
It's only the ones that have not accepted themselves that had a problem with it.
That's all I'm saying.
If you know who you are, and if you know if the shoe fit, wear it. If it don't put it on.
Listen, I just saw this today. I didn't say it. It sounded good though. If the shoe don't fit, don't pull out a shoehorn.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Don't pull out a shoehorn. If it don't fit, don't put. But what I know is that when I could be in church and somebody says, yeah, like some of us really need to go back to working out, and I get convicted. He didn't say me.
Right.
He didn't say me. He didn't say nothing about me. Matter of fact, he was looking at. He don't even know me. He was looking at somebody else when he said it, and I took the hit.
Wow.
And I'm like, yeah, well, speak about something else about that. But it's only because the enemy is the enemy. It has nothing to do with anybody else. So the enemy is the problem. The enemy is my enemy.
That's so good.
So Kim Burrell talking about gay people only hit those, I believe, who are struggling with who they are.
Yeah.
But they're not struggling with who they portray to be.
Yeah.
But they're struggling with who they are.
If you enjoy it.
If you listen, Tone said it best. It's not a struggle because I welcomed it. It's not a struggle. It was a choice. But what Kim Burrell said, she apologized. And now people are trying to find ways to make sure that they never let her forget what she did. But I guarantee you, I could find your stuff and pull out way more than that.
Yeah.
So grace and mercy should not just follow us, but it should be our first portion. Like, y'all,
It should be. Yeah.
listen, she said it. I get it. Like I said, some people you apologize to, they would much rather hold on to the offense instead of saying, you know what, they apologize. All right, that's it. We ain't got to go through it anymore. Because there's something in you. I'll speak about me. People have apologized to me, and I still was mad, but I had to learn psychologically the reason why you're upset is because you keep holding on to what you think they should have done.
Yeah.
Right.
You keep holding on to who you think they should have been.
But here's my thing, Kevin. If Jesus forgot about it, why do you keep remembering it?
Well, I'm going to tell you this. Here's what I know, Brent. There are people who will hear what you say and go, well, I ain't Jesus.
Yeah.
Right? They'll say that. They'll say that. They'll say. But my problem with that is that no, you're not Jesus, but you've been going to church all your life. Shouldn't you be Christ-like?
You should strive daily to be more like him. That's what I miss about the old saints.
Hey, Brent.
The old saints say, I'm not perfect, but at least I'm striving.
Hey, Brent. Yeah. Do you know what else they said? Lord, I'm running, trying to make 100. 99 and a half won't do. But listen to this. They've been going to church all their life for nothing. Because there's a lot of people that I never wanted to forgive, but the cancer and that was trying to develop in my body because of unforgiveness was killing me. It wasn't killing them. And this is the power that I found out that we all have. The moment you forgive somebody, you no longer carry the weight of the offense.
Kevin?
Yeah.
I ask God every day, anoint my try. Just anoint my try. I'm trying. Just anoint it, please. Because God knows some days I may be off. But who am I to sit in the seat of judgment and self-righteousness?
Come on now.
Right.
Who am I? When I think about all the stuff that I've done that was not uncovered,
right. Well, absolutely.
It does not even compare to the stuff that was uncovered.
If I could tell you this one little portion of a testimony, the bottom line was there's something that happened that we didn't feel was right. We didn't feel, we knew it wasn't right, but we kept pressing in it. And then we said, now we're going to make it right, right?
Yeah.
The reality of it was that at least, if nothing else, number one, we still know we had God in our system because we were convicted.
Right.
It's the first thing. The moment you do something and you don't feel no conviction, but you know it's wrong, you and the devil cool. You and the devil cool. But if there's something that convicts you, then it lets you know that there's still something in you that says, but God, if you would just allow me, lead me, guide me, you know, just let me see, you know, I understand what this is. And for him to have kept us in the midst of it, only for us to have an opportunity to make it right. I'm not saying what it is. I'm just saying, you know, then the reality of it is that we can't look down on nobody else and look at them and go, oh, yeah. What you mean you doing it that way? What you mean you do? We can't look down on nobody else because the reality of it is that it was on. Listen, Brent said this on a text that he said, you know, the reason why some of us are not getting hit with death, whatever, is because there's blood over our doors.
Yeah.
You know, and you know the death angel was passing us. You know,
it was.
And the reality of it is,
I be talking sometimes.
You do.
You do.
But the truth is that that's what I'm saying. So every time you get to a place, and now listen, y'all, let's be real. There's some people that can't handle your forgiveness.
That's true.
They can't handle you forgiving them. They want you to stay in that cesspool where you keep bringing up yesterday and last year and, you know, 7 years ago and 12 years ago and back when I was 13 and all, because it's a manipulation tool.
Yeah.
As long as I got this over your head, you're going to always do what I want you to do because you know I know the truth about you. But my sister said it best. How do you live when what they say is the truth about you?
Right.
How do you live when what they're saying? She said, I don't care what they know and what the truth is. You slap God in the face every time you bear their truth as opposed to his mercy.
Ooh, that's so good. That's so good. That's so
Every
good.
time you turn around and say, I'm going to listen to them, I had to tell my mother, every time you turn around and you keep dealing with this nasty family that we have, and then you sit up there, you keep slapping God in the face when you're not tending to your husband.
Wow.
I told my mom, and she had to look herself. Listen, you have to understand, people don't have to change. We do. People don't have, if this is who you are, that's who you are. And that's fine. Because when it's time to stand in front of him, he not going to tell him I'm getting in because of what I thought about you.
Right. He should have been told that. Yeah, I agree.
So we have to get past this thing where we keep trying to make man look like their word is more important than God's word. No, it's not.
What's the last four digits of the card?
What's the last what?
I just preached that last week.
Oh, what did you say, Tommy?
I don't know what I just said. Way to go.
Okay. So we have to understand that what Kim Burrell did, she spoke her mind about a certain situation, but she turned around and went back on her beliefs and said, listen, I apologize.
She did.
I said something that we should, and the way she said it was so articulate. I felt like I forgive you, Kim, and she ain't say nothing about me. She wasn't talking about me at all. But we are just the church is so unforgiving. I don't understand how some people can sit, like you said, Brent, you can sit up here and talk all day about what she said. It's not what she said. The fact is, it was true. That was what the problem was. It wasn't that what she said, it's the fact that she said it. It was true.
Or the fact that no matter what she said and no matter what people have tried to do, she stayed booked. So your efforts, and no matter what you said, that's the thing. No matter what anybody say, no matter how people feel about you, somebody's still gonna get booked. Somebody's still gonna book you. Somebody's still gonna believe in you. Somebody's not gonna believe the narrative that people are putting out for you.
I know that to be right,
as Mary J. Blige sings, somebody's still booking her.
She's worth. She gets $425,000 a show now. Thanks, NFL.
And even worse, what's the other Keisha Cole? She's worse. She's still getting booked.
Why everybody put their head down? Everybody.
Everybody said.
And Ashanti. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, your unforgiveness put her name in lights.
Oh, okay.
Right.
You made her richer.
You made her. You sat up. Your unforgiveness. Thank you. Okay. Your unforgiveness turned around and put her on a marquee that you couldn't touch. Her name is in.
I even told some of my friends, if you just want to meet her, then just say that. I'll arrange a lunch date. Like I'll
and Kim Burrell is not as expensive as people think she is.
She's not. And she actually gives you more than what you pay her for to do.
Absolutely. And don't have a band, she's gonna charge you less.
Oh, I was gonna say, make sure you got a good band.
If you got a band, she's gonna charge you less. She's gonna come in there and she's gonna give you more than what you're paying for.
Justin, even with that, even if you don't have a good band, as long as you are, what can I say, teachable, she'll deal with you. Yeah, she'll deal with you. As long as you are teachable and you humble, she'll deal with you. And she'll work with you. And she tells me that she knows how to sing according to who's playing for her.
Who's playing, that's right. Yes, she does. Yeah. But see, this is the part that they don't understand. Kim will sit on the organ and wear everybody out.
Wear you down.
She will make anybody in the room feel like you are a beginner. Kim Burrell is a phenomenal keyboard player. She don't need nobody. She don't need, and listen, she only gets producers because she don't want the job. But if she had to produce her own album, Kim would do that too. Yeah. So I want everybody to relax.
Everybody calm down.
Everybody relax.
Everybody calm down.
Just calm down.
She's doing her thing.
Because Kim, and today, I'm sorry, I gotta be real. I didn't like all the time she talked or whatever. You know, sometimes I think Kim was talking, she was aggravated, she was frustrated. I get it. But the reality of it is this: all y'all want to be like her. That's the other thing. I don't know. There's not one single. I heard one person try to sound like Karen Clark, and that was Faith Evans. I never heard anybody. I heard one lady that I heard in California. She was in Southern California. That I had to come out the bathroom and find out that it was not my mother singing. There's one lady. She's in Southern California, and she sounds. The only thing with her that's different. She has a different vibrato. It's the only thing. Her tone and the way she sounded like Lorraine Stanislaus and scared the fire out of me. But I have never seen a body of people across the country that try to sound like one person. And it's been happening since 1998.
Right.
It's been happening. People have changed their whole little, and they were so bad at it. They were trying so hard to sound like her that they made a mistake of trying to be something that they never practiced for. So you hurting yourself twice. Number one, that's not you.
Kim's
Number
so
two, you're not good enough. You're not good enough to do that.
Yeah.
But see, Brent, this is what people understand. You don't know what it costs that girl to have a voice like that.
That's true.
You don't know what that costs her. Just like you saying about bass players,
Yeah,
y'all don't know that the reason why I'm so great at playing bass is because I played that thing when I was in the worst times of my life. I played it when I was lied on, lied to, cheated on. I played it when people didn't pay me. I played it when, you know, people, I couldn't convince nobody to believe what I was saying. Because when I was in jail, yeah. That's why I could pick up any bass guitar and literally play it like I made it myself. Because I've been through hell with that thing.
That's crazy.
So we have to understand that just because Dr. Dre said it best, you don't know what it cost me to be me, man. You don't know what I had to lose for that $1 billion situation with Apple to go through. He had to lose a whole son. They gunned his son down 2 days before he got the deal.
I don't like it.
Dr. Dre?
Yep.
Jimmy Iovine told him, "You're gonna have to lose something."
Whoa.
Told Dr. Dre, when you get to this platform, you're gonna have to lose something. And I don't think Jimmy Iovine even knew what that was. He was just telling them, people like you, you know. And 2 days before the acquisition, his son got gunned down over there in Torrance.
Wow.
Got killed. So, you know, we don't know. For Jesus to be who he is, okay,
he had to die.
He had to die. Because we knew on this earth what he was, but I say this all. Wow, Kevin, don't start. Get off of me. Don't you bring that spread over here.
What spread?
There's one I'm getting ready to operate in. But
Come on, Jesus.
it's like when Jesus got crucified, when he was crucified, and they put him in the tomb, when they came back 3 days later, they rolled the stone away and they looked and they said, he's not here. They even saw the clothes that he was wrapped in, the shawls that he was wrapped in. That stuff was laying there. So they were looking for a naked man the whole time.
And he was clothed in righteousness.
And he was fully clothed in righteousness because he was gone. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying with Kim. They know where they left you. They know where they left you. They know they left you to die. You shouldn't be booked. You shouldn't be out here still going on TV shows and doing all this other stuff. But you can't touch her because of where she is now. And guess what? Your crucifixion is what put her in lights. Now you can't stop her.
That's the truth.
Now you can't stop. Now there's nothing you can do. So what her enemies are wondering is, why are you not where we left you?
Yeah, that's
why are we rolling this stone away and we can't find you, and you not wrapped in what we killed you in?
Because you didn't even know I've been transfigured.
And guess what? I still have the scars of what you did, but they're not enough to keep me from who I am.
That's good, Kevin.
You know what I'm saying? So to hell with what people think, because the reality of all of this is that, and we talk about this in marriage, but let's talk about it biblically just where it is. What God has joined together, let no man put asunder. What God has done, you can't take that away. Even if you feel they don't deserve it, God is still blessing a lot of people I don't like.
Yeah. And
Every time I
do
turn
it.
around, they winning something. They on something. They doing something that I want to be doing. You know, but I know I can't get there if I'm steadily focused on why these niggas getting this. Why they?
Yeah.
I'm never gonna get to walk through that door.
Right.
So you know what? Celebrate them. That's so dope, man. I'm glad you there. I'm glad. And somebody said this. They said, you know, if you can't clap for nobody else, you won't hear no noise when it's your turn.
Mm.
You know, so
That's real.
that's all. That's all I'm saying. I have talked so much, and I didn't.
No, you did. You did good.
You was about to go back to these sudden deaths that we've been experiencing.
Yeah, and this is going to end our joint. We're going to try to end on a high note with it, but Demetrius Griffin, he's known me all my life, he actually passed away yesterday.
Last
the
night,
official word out went out this morning.
Yesterday.
Kayla Evans, that I've known that little girl since she was a year old, and she passed away. Michael Brooks from Commission is gone. That was painful. Kirby Brown. I still can't believe that he's gone. I'm having a hard time with that. I'm having a very hard time with that. But he passed away. There's been several other people who have just gone. And so, you know, it's just been a rough time for a lot of, and I know if it's rough for me, it gotta be rough on the families. If it's rough for me to sit here. Keith Branch was the other one. I still can't believe that. The last time I saw Keith was at my concert that I produced back 3 years ago. And I didn't know that would be the last time that I would see him. Because that's the last time I spoke to my cousin.
Great director.
And, you know, it's just all these people. So we just send prayers to all of these families who are affected, all the friends, all of the members of, you know, their churches, their organizations, their families, their communities, all these people, man, who you know, special shout out to Lisa Page Brooks and Tasha Lockhart. You know, they lost a husband and a father. It's just been really, really hard on a lot of people. A lot of people have been affected. I think I see my mother on here now, so let me be careful.
Hey, Mom.
But you know, we've just lost so many people, and you know, we just gotta live life. At this point, this is where I am. If it ain't making me happy, I ain't dealing with it. If it
That was
ain't,
my question to everybody. Like, what do you guys feel once you guys are on this side of heaven, and then on that side of heaven? How does that make you feel? So Kevin said that he felt like if it's not making you happy, don't do it. What's everyone else's take on it?
I feel
mean,
way.
I was gonna ask that, but I'm glad you did.
Sorry, honey, I'm sorry.
No, I'm saying I said it.
Go ahead, ladies first.
I feel the same way. I have dealt with situations or circumstances that I tend to be the bigger person. I'm always trying to be the bigger person, and I think for me personally, that comes from not having a lot of family. I'm an only child, so by being an only child, I always want to, you know, please everybody, be happy around me, and deal with some things that I probably shouldn't deal with or subject myself to, but because I want everybody to be happy and I want everybody smiling. Well, I'm not ashamed to tell my age. I am 50 now. So you know what? Bye. If I'm not, can't do it. If it's not conducive to, you know, good times and having, you know, being up, and I know all days won't be up, but all days won't be down, and you're not gonna have me in some sort of strange middle place either. So yeah, not dealing with it.
Yeah, I get that. Tracy, I'm my only child too, so I understand how you feel. Well, anybody else? Like, how do y'all feel?
Why don't you go ahead since you're talking? Go ahead.
No, I'm saying Kevin. Like, I don't know these
No,
people.
no, no. I'm saying. What?
Oh.
Oh, you mean
For
as
me?
far as? Yeah, for you. I'm saying for you.
Yeah, personally, I mean, I told you as well. Like, God, I want to make sure that when I leave here, that I leave a legacy. Like everyone that you've told me about, I don't know anybody personally. I've seen some people, and I've been with you on the concerts. The concert that you last had in 2022. One. We had so, but I mean, I it makes me feel like God, am I ready? Have I impacted? Have I done what I'm supposed to do on this earth while I'm here? And because it was back to back, and I kept thinking, He's got to be kidding me. It's another person. He's got to be kidding me. It's another person. We were taking a lot of flights at the time. It was like once you got your phone off of airplane mode, it was like another person. I was like, I can't even fathom, you know what I mean? I even seen how you kind of dealt with that in the moment. It's not easy, but it also made me feel, because I'm always a thinker. I'm like, God, I hope that when I leave here, that I can leave a legacy, or I can leave a place where I am doing what you've asked me to do, and it's also congruent to what the need was at the time. You know what I mean? So that's kind of where I've been.
Brent, where you at with it?
I feel like, tomorrow is not promised to any of us. So cuss everybody out today. Like, just be done with it, I think for me,
Wait.
yes.
You see my face?
Tomorrow's not promised. Cuss everyone out today.
Everybody up today?
Yeah. Because I would hate to go. I would
T-shirt.
hate to die, and I didn't cuss everybody out that needed it.
Help us, Lord. Help
You know what I'm
us,
saying?
Lord.
Like, I would hate for me to go, and it was that one heifer that I should have cussed out in '96, and now I'm dead, and I gotta come back to her in a cloud and cuss her out. No, I can't. Or in a dream. No. No. I'm emptying my gun before I close my eyes.
It's like money. You can't take it with you.
Can't take
you might
it
as well
with
use
you.
it now.
I want to die empty. You hear what I say? I don't want to be in the grave with a bunch of shoulda, coulda, wouldas. No, because that same heifer I should have cussed out in '96 gonna come to my funeral and look over my body.
And cry over
I ain't gonna be
it.
able to be there. I ain't gonna be able to sit there and look at him like, you nappy headed bitch. I should have beat you up a long time. I ain't gonna be able to do that. So I just pray, Lord.
Careful at 302.
That's why.
Keep me ready. You know what I'm saying? I think that there.
My mother said I can't. Good night. My mother said I can't. Good night.
Come back. Stay.
She all right. Listen.
Mama, you ain't got to go to work tomorrow. You retired now.
You retired. Congratulations. I just feel
talking late last night. So come on.
Right. I feel like there is an unspoken message that is being loudly spoken to the church that we need to really pay attention and turn our spiritual ear on.
That's good.
I feel like there is I know that there is a message, because some people say that God is quiet or he is not speaking. Everybody want to know what the Lord is saying. Let me tell you something. If you really know anything about God, he moves in ways that he may not speak about. Only those that are in him and that really have an inclined ear to him can hear and see what it is that he is saying. So somebody may say, well, what is he saying? The Bible answers the question. What Jesus is saying in this moment now is, behold, for I come quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it also talks about how his grace will not strive with man always.
Right.
That's
We
good.
are in that part of life of where he is removing his grace
Brent,
from
I also,
those.
Brent, I want people to understand this too. Being legal does not mean you're anointed.
Oh, okay.
I want people to understand that because you're trying to be legalistic about this walk, that you have a better chance into heaven than some of us who you feel that are not. And I just want to interject that part. My mother said, if you want to leave empty, take a laxative. I had to throw that in there. But just but
Absolutely.
but
And I will.
but I think at this point, what people need to understand is that being legal does not mean you are better. There's some of
No, it
us who do
doesn't.
things to be legal to try to coerce or manipulate. Listen, if you are in God, manipulation has no place.
That's
Orchestration is what
That's
it's
good.
not
That's so good.
manipulation.
that's
So
That's
right.
if
good.
you are
Yeah,
in God and you have to manipulate, you are a double-minded person.
I
Yeah.
agree.
I never
100%.
understood how somebody can commit a crime with you and then turn around and try to be righteous towards you. I never understood that. That doesn't
That's
sit well with me.
double-minded. It's double-minded. That's
So
not of God.
and let's go beyond double-minded. A reprobated mind is really what gets people in trouble. And so all I'm saying is that to your point, Brent, to really sum that up, what people need to understand is being legal does not mean you are anointed. And being anointed does not mean you can manipulate. You have to understand that when you talk a certain way, that's the way you operate. So be careful with manipulation or orchestration. Know the difference between the two. Understand that being legal does not make you a higher priority for God. You know, and what I don't like is when people who really don't know you try to tell you who you are in God. I can't stand that. That bothers me to no end. Because what you need to understand is I was saved before I got to you. Don't be mad now and try to lead me to God when you pulled me from him to pay attention to you.
Mm.
You pulled me from him to make you told me, don't look at God right now, look at me. But then after I look at you, all of a sudden you convict. Now you want to tell me, well, you need to turn around and you really need to seek God or whatever. Nigga, I wasn't seeking God when you was sitting up here doing what you was doing.
Can you unpack legal? A person that's acting legal. Unpack that. What that looks like.
A person who is legal, a legalistic person, a person who
Mm-hmm.
feels like I'm going to follow these particular situations
Guidelines.
for gain to
That's
say
good.
that I am anointed. You're
Okay.
trying to gain the respect of somebody by saying, listen, well, the Bible says this. The Bible said that. Yeah, the Bible said we're not supposed to lay together if we're not married, but you've been laying down with, okay. Well, we're not supposed to drink to get drunk. I had to carry you home last night. What you talking about?
Help us, Lord.
You understand what I'm saying? For everything that you could say to me that I should be doing, I could look at you and go, but you're not doing it. But it's not my job to keep trying to show you what you're not doing.
Because part of that is judging too. So you don't want to, it's not your job. You're right. We shouldn't be doing that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But the judgment part, I don't even pay attention to. I remember I had somebody tell me, you really need to see God about who you are in him. And I said, okay. Well, if I really go to God, let me tell you what he said to me already. Since you want to do that, he told me, get the hell away from you. You're one of the reasons why I can't hear him because you're in my ear. So what you need to understand is that every time you try to come to me, but you can't tell me who to be in God when you made me look at you first.
Right.
Yeah, that's great. That's good.
You came and made me
You
look at you
expose you.
first. And so
Exactly.
now you want to try to lead me to somewhere that you tried to coerce me and manipulate me to stop doing
Mm.
just so I can look at you.
That's
Have
control.
several seats and don't get back up.
Oh.
Because at the end of the day, and Brent, I've said this so many times, somebody has heard me say it. God is still working on me. I'm rough when it comes to my mouth because I was a fight. I fought all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm learning now is that listen, this is God's honest truth. We get ready to get off of here. This is God's honest truth. I learned that I was reacting as opposed to responding.
Mm.
Right? Watch this. Then I also learned that after that formula, here's the next one. Why do you keep giving life to something that's not worth your attention anyway?
That's
You know
good.
why you're frustrated? You're not frustrated at the situation. You're frustrated that you're not operating in who you
Right.
are in the
Mhm.
situation.
Mm-hmm.
That's your biggest problem. Your problem is not what's happening. Problem is you won't allow this situation to basically illuminate and make stage for who you really are.
It's funny. Yeah.
That's why you've
crazy.
had certain situations go that way, because you let everybody else control not just your attention, but they controlled your anger, they controlled your reaction, they controlled all of that. When the reality of it was, your greatest power was absence.
Mm-hmm.
That's
That's
your
good.
greatest power. They
It
can't
really
Never
argue
is.
with
hurt
you
yourself.
if you're not there.
Yep.
They can't argue with you if
That's
you're not
right.
there. You're not there. They can't argue with you. So that's what
You
I'm
can't
talking about
insert
when it
yourself.
comes to
Yeah.
being illegal, because there are some people who only want to follow the guidelines so they can turn around and judge you.
Mm.
Say, well, this is why you need to do this because I did this. Listen, you can't commit a crime with me and then try to be the judge at the same time. There's no way you can do that.
Doesn't make sense.
So please, in the words of my father, who is no longer here, he's been gone a year now. I miss him dearly. My father says, sit your ass down and don't get back up.
Oh Lord.
And I am my
Don't
father's
get
son.
up. Mm-hmm.
So, with that being said, we are at 3 hours and 10 minutes. That went
We
by
gotta
very
go.
fast.
Can I do two confessions? Well, one confession. I did fall asleep, and I did ask y'all what was your last 4 digits of your account number.
Is that what you? You need
That's
to
what I
go to
said.
sleep.
That's
You
what I
need to go
said.
to sleep. You need to go to
Oh,
Oh,
sleep.
that's
you
what I
asked
said. I
Kevin.
said,
You asked
when I
Kevin.
woke
You
up,
didn't
I
ask
said,
us.
Admit that.
oh
You
my
said what,
God.
Justin?
She asked you. She didn't ask us.
She asked me
I
what my
thought she
last
was.
four.
I thought she was buying
talking.
something.
Boy was talking.
I did
I
too,
thought she was
because I was
buying
like, first of all, you don't have my card in front of you. What's going on here? And
She
why do you
did.
only need? Why do you only need the last four? I
You
don't
may
That
have
means
understand
to
I
what's
have the
Work
happening
too
right
rest of
now.
it.
You
much.
may
That
have
means
to
I have the
delete
rest of
this
it.
one. She don't put your address on here. She didn't.
I
You
don't know.
work
I
too
don't.
much,
What's
Tanya.
wrong with you?
This will be the second time I fell asleep on this podcast. But
We're not talking
the
about to fall asleep.
other people
No,
didn't.
no.
Oh,
I fell asleep.
Justin,
You
Justin,
talking your sleep, Kevin. I talking my
Ju-
sleep.
Ju-
Kevin, be honest and stop doing it. My mama's on here. Oh,
I don't know what you're talking about.
shut
You
up.
went
That's
like,
all
I
I'm
was
saying.
getting ready to tell Justin, can you please tell Tanya how I was calling her name on the last live, and all you heard was
Shut up. It's past my
That was
bedtime.
every time I called,
You
it got
work too
louder.
much, Tanya.
It got louder.
That's
I said,
It got
Tanya,
louder.
Tanya,
yeah. It
Yeah,
did.
it's a true
Tanya.
story.
It was
That was
quiet.
my way
He
of
was
letting
like,
you
"Is
know I
she
was still
sleeping?"
here. I was still here
It
to
was.
lie.
We say she's sleeping. It was quiet.
Well,
Kevin said, "Tanya."
You doing too much. I don't get that loud.
Oh, you did that night. You was amplified.
Wow.
Y'all lying.
All right, we can let go.
Man.
Listen, this show has taken so many turns, but tonight we hit everything that was on the marquee to do. So I appreciate that. I still get hits from people saying, please don't stop that show. Your show not on this week? I don't know what I'm gonna do. Wednesday night is the night. Like this is picking up a lot of traction. So let's keep it going. We are on YouTube. Also, we are getting ready to set it up for us to be live on Instagram as well. That's gonna pick up a whole nother audience. And we're gonna keep this going. So we'll be back next week. We're praying for all those families, man, tonight. All of the deaths that happened, all of the transitions. We're just praying for everybody. This is not an easy season, so we all got to be here for each other. Why don't we break the internet being nice to one another? We do everything else.
That's right.
Let's just break the internet being nice. Just encourage somebody.
Come on,
To
Jesus.
all y'all musicians out there who hating on each other for no reason, neither one of y'all are that good, but y'all hating on each other. Just stop all that. Just go ahead and just learn. Somebody can teach you something. I don't care how good I am. There's somebody that can always, if I can open my eyes, I can learn something new. Period.
I'm not gonna lie. I respected you more as a bass player. I respect you as my man, but as a bass player, when you started playing with Frankie Beverly, and then you had the 6 string, and it was like And you sound good, but it's too dark or too deep or whatever it was, and you just changed. I was like, that's nice because you didn't have to. You could have been like, I know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? So I'm appreciative of that.
No,
Appreciate that.
I'm gonna tell you what I learned. The level of understanding the music is what played a role in that. And then the other thing was, um, I'm a person who I'm big enough to say, right, I'm on the gig, y'all not, blah blah blah. I'm doing something y'all ain't never done. But what I also
I
did
know you
was
as that.
no, you don't know me as that.
I
But
do.
The
I'm the
artist.
person who literally says that at this
Look at
point,
Brett.
you know, I'm a person who literally says that I understand what the song takes. And sometimes your ear is not the best ear.
Mhm.
You have to understand that sometimes your ear may hear one thing, but I don't want to be tone deaf to just Kevin. Like, I only hear what Kevin hears.
That's
I don't
cool,
want to
babe.
hear nothing else. You know, I believe in my heart, music is the one thing where I'm open for suggestion and
That's
correction.
good.
It's the one thing.
Look at
You
Brent.
tell
Please tell me what's wrong with Brent.
if you tell me I'm pitchy or whatever, I'm going to try to fix it. I'm not proud to where I feel like, well, my resume is long. You can't tell me nothing. No, that has nothing to do with it. The problem that I have is when arrogant people try to deal with me. Now we got a problem because what you're not going to do is try to embarrass me
Yeah, but
and make me seem like I don't know what I'm doing, which is why all you nasty MDs out here who feel like you want to try to make it look like you teaching me something that you can't teach me nothing. It's because you keep trying to act like your resume is bigger than mine when you ain't even touching it. And I say this about Justin and Tracy and anybody else. The bottom line is, and I don't want to contradict myself, but let's be very clear. You need to know when to talk and when to shut up.
That's good.
And when I walk in the room, shut up.
Oh,
Because
okay.
I can sit on either one of these instruments and wear y'all out to where they don't even remember that you existed.
Whoa.
Help us, Lord.
But if you're humble about it, I will let you. If you driving, I'll let you drive. That's not a problem to me. But your attitude, your approach, and the way you come at me is what's gonna set up the issue. And that's all I'm saying. You know, if you come, because I've been told correction by people who don't know you because they're so high up in the rankings, they don't even know you exist. But I've let them tell me. I can let you tell me. I don't have a problem with that. But when you come on, hey Kev, yo man, I need you to step your game up a little. Let me go get a 3-piece. I'll be on bass or drums, whichever one you want. I'll get a bass player or a drum and a dope keyboard player. And we're gonna wear y'all out. But if you're humble about it, I will hold my hands like this and say, what do you need me to do? That's all. So when
I've
they
seen that.
said Kevin changed the tone of the bass, no problem. And the bass sounded so good that Frankie Beverly himself told me, I don't care who leave here, you ain't going nowhere. And that came from me saying, let me change it. All right, I get y'all. Let me fix this. And I fixed it. So yeah. I remember I had to tell Joel Smith, Justin, I had to tell Joel Smith that he was playing too slow on a certain tempo of a song that his uncle recorded. I had to tell Joel Smith, do you understand what kind of pain I was in after that?
I can only imagine.
I was in pain. But you know what Joel said to me? He could have been like, I played on the album. I don't need you to correct me. You know what he said? He said, Kevin, I thought so. Where's the tempo at? And I showed him. He said, I tell you what, why don't you play drums on this song? Because I don't hear that. And I switched, and Joel got on my bass, and I played drums. And I will never forget that day.
Yeah.
I will never forget it. So humble is the way.
Humble.
Be humble. Stay humble. Because there's a
still
5-year-old
wearing
kid wearing you out right now.
Wearing
Yeah.
us all out. And
That
China.
little Asian boy playing guitar.
What's that kid Justin? What's his name? Justin. Oh my goodness,
The
playing
little
that
baseball. Yeah.
blazing.
If he show up, I'm gonna go to find out if McDonald's still hiring, bro.
I'm gonna shake his hand.
I'm be like, yeah. Because I remember Tony Royster used to be like that. When he was like 11 and 12 years old, and Dennis Chambers was basically endorsing this cat, I was like, it's over for a lot of people. It's over.
Tony killed the scene.
Ronald Bruner was another one. The
Mhm.
dudes was playing. I was like, God, dog. Humble is the way. I thank God that people still want to hear me.
Yeah.
I'm thankful.
grateful.
You got a lot of wisdom to say. Too bad. Don't
It's not just the
yourself.
wisdom. I'm talking about musically. Like, you still want me to, you want, oh, okay. Oh, okay, we need your sauce on it, man. I'm like, really?
Yeah, I agree.
Brent, shut the hell up.
I didn't say anything.
Yo, your eyes did.
You think too loud. You think too loud.
You think too loud. All right, y'all. We out of here. Thank y'all so much. Terrence done came back on. Hold on. Where's he at?
I'm right here.
Oh, there you
I
go.
love your gray hair.
Thank you much.
Terrence, you are looking like a Patterson version of Santa Claus over there. What the hell?
Listen, I'm getting ready for the job. I ain't gonna have no little kids pulling my beard off by mistake. It's gonna be real.
I mean, your hair is
what? That's me.
Wow.
All natural.
Wow.
No process, no coloring, no dyeing.
I remember back in the day, Terrence had a Jerry curl. Well, the whole left side of Patterson did. Let me be honest.
And you had a Gumby, so hush. Now we're gonna talk about it. Let's talk about it.
All right. Well, yeah, but you know, I got mine cut every week. There's some people that shouldn't have had that.
Yeah. They didn't have a Gumby. They just had a damn. And you know, there's no lie in that. You know, I'm telling the absolute truth.
No, they everybody was trying with them fades, and one lady, I think it was Eileen Gilmore, she said, y'all need to go back to Africa with these fades and stuff y'all got going on.
Justin played for somebody right now. They got a Gumby.
Oh Jesus.
Who's that, Justin?
We're not naming no names up here today.
So I can speak freely.
It was your old church.
Oh, I just got that. I just got it.
Just saying, your old church.
Oh boy. All right. Well, all right. We're gonna get ready to go.
Are we sure?
Okay, Brent, Brent, it's been a couple of weeks. You're going to behave tonight.
I am. I'm
asking Jesus to control your tongue right now.
See, that's why I told y'all don't send me that stuff. Don't send me that stuff. No, don't send me that. I don't want to see it anymore.
All we see is curtains.
You know what? I just saw it. Okay, you know what? Yeah.
He done got off.
Okay, I'm gonna let y'all go because I gotta go to sleep.
You know what? You right.
Yeah, before you ask us about our last four again.
End the show, Kev, so we can talk freely.
All right.
Just for 5 minutes.
Can we just cut
I got
out
to
this
work
part?
tomorrow. Just for 5 minutes.
I want to thank everybody. We'll see y'all next week. We're gonna have some good stuff to talk about. And I'm just great. Brent, you gotta send us. It's been a couple of weeks, man. It's been a couple of weeks.
Send us off,
Brent.
It's been a couple of weeks.
Bridle your tongue, sir. Bridle your tongue, sir.
Terrence, let me ask you a question. When has he ever done that?
But I'm asking him so that we can go on record that it was definitely requested. So this way, whatever he says, he can't say, well, nobody told me not to say it.
Yeah, okay.
We're telling you, don't say it, sir.
We're there.
Bless the Lord.
Hey,
I'll be nice just for Terrence this week. Now
I appreciate that, sir.
next week is
We
Fire
love
and
you.
Desire. But I
Oh
guess,
Lord.
Fire and desire.
with all the passing of everyone recently, just make sure you love intentionally, everybody.
Yeah, that's
Just
good.
love on purpose.
Absolutely.
That's
I
a good
think
one.
that's the message for these last couple of weeks. Just be intentional about loving people genuinely. That's all I
You
got.
did
Yes, sir.
good. You did really good
That's
this time.
phenomenal.
That's good.
That is
That's good.
phenomenal.
Kevin, don't
That's
ask for
great.
nothing else. That's it.
All right. Okay. All right. Nothing else. Okay. Well,
No, Kevin.
He
Am I
wanted
going to?
something
Do I need
else,
to use your full government name, sir?
and I'm not gonna do it.
they already know about it.
But that's beside the point. The world doesn't necessarily know it.
I'm
All
not
right.
gonna do it.
I saw your mom, by the way,
You saw,
as she was
yes, you
leaving
told me.
church. As she was leaving church. No, I'm
Wait a
not talking about
minute.
earlier. I mean, like
Wait a
literally,
minute.
like
Hold
10
on.
minutes ago.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Tanya, your mother said that women has led more families successfully than men.
We talked about that about an hour ago, so let that go.
Oh, I didn't know that because I really just wanted. Okay. All right. I didn't see that, but I didn't see it.
It's okay, babe.
Yeah, it's okay. All right.
I'm
Yeah,
on camera.
Justin, we'll talk later. I don't know where that came from, but okay. All right, Brent. So you sure that's it?
Yes,
That's
he
all
is.
I'm gonna say. Just
He
for
is.
Mr. Terrence. That's all.
I appreciate you, sir. One day we're gonna our paths are gonna have to cross where we are in the same airspace, just so that we can connect and say hello.
Absolutely.
Justin, did you want to say something? Because I could see you did.
I was gonna say at least say the line he said earlier
What line did he say earlier?
about life is short.
It is.
What did you say, Justin?
He said life is short.
So cuss him out today. So cuss everybody out today.
See, y'all keep pushing Brent. I don't know. Brent is
Right.
trying to be good. He's trying to be
Just
compliant,
for
but y'all keep
you,
pushing him.
Mr. Terrence. Just for
Poking the
you.
bear.
All right. You know what, Brent, I'm going to take the reins off you. Go ahead, son. Just say what you feel.
Yeah. Let's
Just say
go.
what you feel.
A little nut goes a long way. That's all.
Ooh, Lord Jesus Christ.
Good night, everyone, all across America and
All right,
around the world.
we gotta go. Cut the tape. Cut the
Hey,
tape.
Brent. Hey, Brent. A little what?
A little nut goes a long way.
No.
Yeah.